Hey y'all, hey, we are back. We are back with another live today because we are going to review another interview. And the interview today is Humble Brag. It's from the Humble Brag podcast with Cynthia Bailey and Crystal Molneve. I don't know how to say her last name. But Crystal is from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, formerly. I think she did 2 seasons with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And her husband is the director or producer, one or the other, I think director, for Lion King, for the original Lion King. So she is loaded, which is probably why she thinks she is a know-it-all. And not in a good way, because I don't mind know-it-alls, because you might just know it all. But she is a know-it-all in a bad way. Anyway, we are going to we're going to go ahead and review the interview that Nene and that Cynthia and Crystal do with Nene Leakes. Now let me just say this. Between Nene Leakes doing her own show and using her show, I don't know, to have her own interview. It's like she interviews herself sometimes. I don't know if we need another Nene Leakes interview, but it is nice to get the perspective of Cynthia being able to interview Nene, and let's just see the questions that Cynthia has, and let's see what Nene has to say about it. Okay.
Hi, I'm Cynthia.
I'm Crystal. This is Humble Brag.
Humble Brag.
Humble Brag.
Oh, I have tea.
Once a housewife,
Always a housewife. Can we say that again for the people in the back?
Humble Brag.
Humble Brag. Brag with us. Well, Lord have mercy. I'm not going to say hell has frozen over. But when I tell you, you guys are not ready for our next guest, and I'm so excited to bring her on Humble Brag. I know her very well, but Crystal, you actually don't really know.
I don't. Well, I know of the
legendary,
famous, the icon that is Nene Leakes.
Yes,
but
Nene Leakes. Wait a minute, you said it so I can say it. We have Nene Leakes on the show.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys.
Welcome, Nene.
Thank you for having me. This is like new. I mean, this is my first time meeting you.
Yes.
Obviously, I know Cynthia for years.
Well, I'm a little speechless.
Oh, God.
I am like in the company of, I mean, everyone tells you you're an icon. Everyone says these things, but just so you know, coming from a person who's never met you and truly the space with you right now, I'm like, I can't believe Nene's in the room with me. I'm going to try to act cool. And if I'm
really
not
regular.
cool, just know that it's because I'm like super excited that you're here.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm really regular. I say that to people all the time. I said, I'm really regular. And they say, you are not regular.
You are not regular.
I am regular.
True. That's actually, do you think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about you?
Yeah, I think that people have a different thought about who I am. But in my private life, like in my real life, like I'm really like regular. I'm cool, I'm chill, right?
Yeah.
We just kind of chill.
Yeah,
I think that people think
not the word.
No, I think people think that we are like, I don't know, in high heels and gowns and just living this fabulous life, drink.
No, I kind of get that. I can see Nene being really regular, right? I think that is what added to her breakout success as a real housewife. Is because her proximity to the people who were watching, we could all relate to that. So I agree. She probably is regular in that sense. She certainly is not regular in her personality
and just, traveling the world.
Yeah. Well, you do all those things.
I mean, I do, but I do them very low key and very kind of regular in a sense.
Nene Leakes. I would not. Okay, you act regular, but I don't think your life is regular.
I think it is.
Really
Who's more regular? Because there is a persona, right? I'm on Beverly Hills, but you really know me.
Yes.
And you really know Nene.
Yeah.
Is she more regular?
Than who?
Me.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I only want to know for myself because it's hard to believe Nene's regular.
I am.
You know what it is? It's hard to say. You are, like, Nene is such a big personality. Yeah. So everything that she does is just bigger. And it's just the way it is.
I see that.
Yeah.
You know, she was and I always say this about you.
Yeah.
1,000% the breakout star of the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah. She says it every time. Every time her name comes out, it's breakouts. The breakout star.
True.
The star.
It's true.
Yes, it is true.
Did you know? Okay. Did you ever imagine? I'm going to take you all the way back to season 1.
Yeah.
That this, what we thought was a little show, would end up to be this show, and that you would end up becoming the Nene Leakes. And then we're going to talk about these Real Housewife babies, because you're like having a whole rebirth as a baby star now.
Yeah.
No, so as if your ass wasn't big enough already.
Yeah, now my baby that I'm not getting any money from.
Listen, how can we monetize that?
I don't know, but I would like to get a check.
Yes,
I would like to get one as well.
This is always our mission, is how to get the check.
So when I started Real Housewives of Atlanta, I think it was 2007, something like that. 2007, 2008, I think, when we first premiered. But remember, we shot a pilot.
And you were part of the first pilot. Were you the first housewife to be
housewife to be cast in the end, right? And then we shot our pilot, and then they shopped it, and then, you know, I had to get picked up, and then we started shooting the first season. So it was kind of almost like 2 years. No, I literally thought I was just doing some, like, seriously, like, I'm just doing some, even when I was told my husband at the time, he was like, okay, like, we never just thought of it as anything, honestly.
Right. Did you have any fears about it? Any trepidations? So you just went in like whatever.
I think that is why it was such a hit, is because I feel like all of us just kind of went into it like we were just doing something.
Well, that was not a blueprint. You guys were the blueprint.
Right.
Yeah, and now I'm part of the blueprint, because I came on season 3 as your friend.
What's really crazy is all the shows that followed us, it was almost like they used our blueprint. They needed a girl who was younger and married to an older man. You know, they needed somebody who was, you know, I was doing that was me, you know, and they needed somebody that was blonde, or somebody that was outspoken, somebody that was like, you know, the person that got along with everybody. I mean, they really did follow our footprints. They did. Yeah.
Did you feel like after 1 or 2 seasons that you were portrayed exactly like who you were?
No. I never feel like I'm being portrayed as who I am.
Interesting.
Ever. I feel like...
Well, who are you?
No,
because a lot of people don't really know. Who is Nene Leakes?
Because
who the hell are you?
The Nene Leakes that I know from the outside is, you know, the diva.
Who do you think she is? What does she look like to you?
I am so not a diva.
Let us say it first. Okay. When you look at Miss Leakes, what do you see? Who do you think this woman is?
You're obviously the shade queen.
Oh, am I?
Yes, you are.
I don't think so. I think that's Cynthia.
Okay,
Nene!
We're going to keep the focus on you right now.
I am not the shade queen.
You're a true comedian.
For sure.
Okay.
You're a comedian.
A funny lady.
You're very funny. We don't blow smoke up anyone. Like, I don't. But we're kind, but we don't. Like, you are single-handedly, to me, the ultimate housewife. Like, you're you're the primary.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of OGs and whatever, but like, you're... But I think people think of you as, like super, you know, snappy, and you always have some comeback ready, and like.
But I can be ready. If I ain't ready, I'll get ready.
But where does that come from? Like,
I don't know.
I wish I took your class before I did the show, because it's iconic.
I feel like you have to touch a certain button. Like that's almost like touching a certain nerve. And then, I mean, I think all of us have. You know what I'm saying? When they touch a certain nerve, we're like, okay, hold on, wait.
Right.
We can pop back quick.
Right.
Did the show help you get better at that?
Oh, the show makes you get better. Like, if you ain't good, you're going to get good. Right? Right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Well, I feel like with you, with your humor, and even with your reads, you never really felt rehearsed. I feel like you can't make up. Like, Nene basically single-handedly screwed up, I just want to say effed up, white refrigerators for life. Like, she literally went into
we just talked about this the other day.
I love it. When I tell you this girl took down white refrigerators, she walked into a scene.
You changed every kitchen in America.
Listen, everyone's looking at their refrigerator like, oh my God, do I have a white refrigerator? This thing has to go.
That's what's so amazing, because it's so not rehearsed. It's just who you are. And I think that's why you're so special, because you cannot make that up.
Well,
and I just wonder, where does that come from? Were you always like this as a child? Were you always snappy?
Take us back before Housewives.
Yeah.
You know, I think as a child, I probably was. You know, as a child, my aunt raised me, my mother's oldest sister, and she had me in all kind of activities, modeling, you know, like every year when school,
cheerleading, weren't you a
cheerleading, basketball, you know, theater, track. I had to do something every year. So every year when school started, she said, so what's your after school activity?
Okay.
So I had to pick something, 4-H club, a brownie, a Girl Scout. You know, I went away for a camp in summer. I don't know. I think doing all those things just made me kind of well-rounded, which is really good because I think a lot of kids don't do activities. My sons didn't do that many activities. And I feel like those activities really helped me.
It does.
Shape
it does.
Yes.
It does.
And it kind of made me who I am.
Yeah, and I think when we were growing up too, like we had to get out of the house. They didn't want us in the house.
No, they did.
I would agree with that. That was something that I did with my kids, was encourage them to get in extracurricular activities. I think for me, of course, because my life is a little bit different, I grew up in an inner city, and so I had access to just kind of my train of thought was kids have to have something to do. If you don't give them something to do, then they'll figure out something to do on their own. And if there's nothing to do, then that might lead them to getting into trouble. So I kind of would do this. I would suggest the same, especially, well, it doesn't matter if they're a girl or a boy. I was going to say, especially if they're boys, because boys just kind of confine themselves to doing things in the streets a little bit sooner than girls. But I don't know. Today, that rule might be totally out the window. If you got a young child, get them in some activities. And I do think it does help them with social calendars or social activities, being able to socialize, and then kind of meeting different groups of people. So it's a lot of benefits to that, in my opinion.
And then by the time we had our kids, because Brent, Noel's, Brent and Noel are the same age, basically. Okay. And Noel literally was more of a house kid, where we were like, we get up, we ate, and we had to hit the road. We had to go somewhere, and then just be back before the street light came on, basically.
Yeah, but like you said, when we grew up, we were kind of like, you got to go outside and play. Like the kids don't go outside.
We were literally outside.
Like if you take them outside to play, somebody might take them. Right. Yeah. So we could go outside and play. You know, we did all of our sports in the street. We hopscotch, you know.
All of that.
We played kickball, jump rope.
But what was your persona in high school?
Yeah. Were you like popular?
So I was popular. I was on homecoming court like a lot of girls, you know, stuff like that.
Of course you guys were.
No, we have a lot. Here's the thing. We're so different. We have so much. I was homecoming queen.
I was not homecoming
Nene
queen.
Was on the
I was on homecoming court, and I was
modeling.
First runner up. And
that's like queen, girl.
We share the modeling thing. We share the homecoming. I was a cheerleader as well.
Yeah, stuff like
so you guys
that.
were like bred as popular girls. Like that's a popular
so my senior year, they do like the who's who or whatever, like in your thing. And I won most talkative.
Well, honey, that was right. And your ass been talking ever since. And look how much money you get paid to talk now.
Do you remember what your class award was? But I don't think we had anything that had like most talkative, but I got class flirt. For some reason, I got the fact that everybody thought I flirted all the time. I just thought I was really friendly. I got class flirt and most school spirit because I too was a cheerleader, and I bet you already could tell, right? Of course I was a cheerleader. Yes.
That means I won most talkative. Yeah. So, you know, did you guys have that like your yearbook? Like,
yep, I was.
They're called superlatives.
I think I won best looking.
I think I won best dressed too.
I won two as well. Yeah. You won two categories as well?
So. And I'm pretty sure it was best dressed.
Yeah.
I was class clown.
And most
you were class clown? And I don't even see that, actually. Yeah. I mean, I do now on Humble Brag, but from watching you on Beverly Hills, I would never. I would never see that.
But of course, you guys were homecoming princess. They're princesses, right?
Well,
I was not a princess. They call them homecoming queens.
Yes.
They don't call them princess.
No, ours was you're the queen, but if you're on the court, you're a princess. That's how ours was called.
Oh, okay.
So like on the court. Yeah.
Yeah, no. And just my growing up, my upbringing was different. I didn't grow up with my mother or father. It was my mom's oldest sister and her husband who raised me. They have since passed on. And I just think that my aunt being older, she instilled like all these old traits. And she was snappy too, because some of the things that I said on Housewives were things that she said, like you throw a rock and hide your hand.
Yeah.
Or a hit dog.
Close your legs to marry men.
Yeah, see, she didn't say that. But she said a hit dog will holler. Yeah, you remember that? Those are old terms.
That is old school.
And then throw a rock and hide your hand. Stuff like that came from her.
Yeah.
She would say that in our house. Yeah. So I would say stuff like that.
And see, that goes back to why she came out as a fan favorite. We could relate to those things. We've had people in our family use those same, like, we got it when she, said those things. A hit dog will holler. Where's the lie? Where is the lie? And which you never can win when you play dirty. That was another one. And that is what put Nene on the map is her relatability to the audience. Miss Dogan says she was voted contributes most to school life and class secretary. So Miss Dogan was on what was the club called? The senior what they put on the prom student council. So you was on student council and you probably was on the smart stuff. I was on the social calendar, on the social stuff. Me either. Krista, now what I can say when I was able to stomach her better when they were on Carlos King's show. This is my first time watching a podcast, their podcast, Humble Brag. So far she's all right. I don't know. I don't like Crystal either though. I don't know what it is. It's something about her. I just can't get it.
But I never knew that if I just said these one things, they were going to come off as one-liners. I did not know that. It's so funny. You know this and you do too now, being on Housewives, the things that the viewers pick up on and grab a hold to and kind of run with it. Yeah. Like you never know what's
You never know. When we're in those scenes, we never think, oh, well, that's going to, the fans are going to fly with that. Yeah. Another one of your famous ones is you never win when you play dirt.
Never win when you play dirty. And that's real.
Yeah,
that's real.
All money ain't good money.
Yeah, all money ain't good money.
I love to say that too. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Is there ever a line for either of you guys that you said that in the moment you're like, oh yeah, that's going to be a big one?
I don't, but what I do know is when I'm watching reality, which I don't watch that much anymore, but when I'm watching reality show, I can tell when somebody is saying something that they hope that it's going to be like
a big one.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
That's so annoying because you look at them and you be like, no.
Yeah, because it feels so reharsed.
It's so
performative and produced. It's like, girl, ain't nobody stop trying to make bitch happen. It ain't gonna happen, girl.
But you got to feel bad for the girls coming after you too, because they got to make something happen. Like iconic lines they're far and few between.
Yeah,
from when you guys, you did that post last week, and we talked about like the most famous lines, right?
Yeah,
and it's like. It all comes from you guys. Atlanta's probably number one, right? Today, it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
So you can tell people rehearse things.
These are big shoes to fill.
And that's the problem with what we see in the cast today, is that they are watching what they did and feeling like they have to come and mimic that. And the difference is there wasn't anybody ahead of them. So what they did was what they did give you, it was raw and it was real and natural. And so I agree with Nene. You can tell when somebody is not like Britt, Edie. You can tell when they're putting on Shamia. We can tell. We've been through this before. They cannot. It's just, and the thing, so that's why it's kind of like, if you just focus on being yourself, then you just let what, like she said, they can say things, they don't know what the audience is going to pick up, which is true. You don't know what the audience is going to pick up. You might can think it, But I think if you're, as long as you're being yourself, then that's going to shine and somebody gonna see it. Like somebody gonna see it. That's why, that's why Cynthia does well, even with having that like overcasted like idea that she was always in Nene's, but it was like she was always just herself. And she always has been at this point, whether that's boring or not. She's always been herself, and she has not deviated from being herself. Outside of when they had to tell her to give Phaedra that information about chocolate, and that's only because her own damn husband got himself mixed up in it. I know she had to take Peter and tell him, Peter, don't you get your tail in the middle of this mess no more. But even with that scene, you could tell how uncomfortable she was doing that. That's not her thing. And she's never tried to make it be. And that's why we can still accept Cynthia. Cynthia can come back on with not a nan of the original housewife and still be a friend of the show. Because she is gonna come and be herself.
I will say that. They're pretty big. And even all the girls that were working with me on the show as an ensemble, Cynthia and Kenya and Candy and Portia, everybody. Yeah,
Portia, Marlo,
I mean, these are big
Sheree.
shoes to step in.
Yeah.
I mean, what I do know is because every year when they get ready to cast, they would ask like all of us, like, who do we know? Or like, they bring somebody on and stuff like that. And I'm talking to girls and they're all like, I can do it. And I'm like, let's see. Soon as the cameras come on, oh, this is different. When you step in the room, these girls are.
Girl, you know who she talking about? She talking about that girl. What's that? How can Yvonne, baby? How can anybody ever forget Yvonne from Clark? Baby, Yvonne from Clark messed up the church's money, okay? Because that lady got on the screen, that damn camera went on, and she lost her man. She lost her man. And then when Nene tried to get it together, you could tell Nene had been talking to her, trying to coach her, because she had this information that she just needed to get out, right? And what was that, the second season? Because I think didn't Yvonne show up on 2 separate seasons, or was it later on in the same season? But either way, Miss Thirsty Butt, it was a disaster. Well, it was Tapegate, right? Because she sat down with Cynthia and told Cynthia that Nene said she had a recording of her. And so when they get to, where was they at? Canada? Well, the trip, and they trying to get, they done already figured out, like, girl, you is lying. And they was right, though, to call her out to the carpet. Like, how you the new one on the totem pole? You coming with this mess, and then you acting like you don't want to give us the information. Girl, keep your information. Portia was done with that girl. That's what she tell her, talk about. So what she say? The thirsty one is your man, or what? Or was she? That lady tried to tell her something about Dennis, because this is after Portia had the baby by Dennis. So they must have been in Canada. Yeah, they must have been in Canada for the carnival thing. That Yvonne baby, she was a disaster. But that got to be who Nene is referencing. It got to be. Because I don't know that anybody else got on there and was more horrible than her.
Eat you up. I'm scared of y'all.
Did you think at that time when I gave you the friend contract that would blow up like it did?
No. That's one of those things that was really genuine. No one, that's something no one has ever done. I think, did I hear somebody talking about a friend contract on one of these shows?
I think after I did it. I think it came up a couple more times. But I was the originator.
That was iconic. That was, I asked you myself, I said, did somebody tell you to do that?
No.
Like, that was like,
I remember when you told me about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't
believe that. That was a genuine moment. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening. It's my first season. You were my friend. You were the person they gave me. And then we actually became friends.
Yeah.
And, when you start a show like this, things start happening. And I'm like, wait a minute. And like, if there was ever a scene where Nene was in and I wasn't in, because I was literally like her little sidekick for season.
Yes.
So if she shot with that, I'd be like, wait, I'm supposed to be with Nene. Why am I not over there? So I was like, I gotta drop a damn contract. You are my best friend, of course. Like, everyone had so much fun with it. They were calling me single black female.
Oh my God.
Nene stalker. When I said they wore me out first season, how bad
they
did they
did the
wear
same thing I see now to Jamia, like lapdog.
Oh yeah, the whole lapdog thing. That's all coming back up. And I was so concerned,
and I was right, that Cynthia would just fall prey to all that. Because I'm like, Cynthia, you know this is not true.
Right.
Like, but
and you would
so
always
hard.
say that.
Yeah,
like,
but it's so hard when everybody's saying it. Right.
Yeah.
When people are saying it to you, I guess after a while, I guess it's like in your head, like, am I a lapdog?
Yeah. It's hard because actually the audience has an uncanny way of sort of creating this character. And then when you start to believe it, it starts to affect even yourself and how you act.
Once you see someone say that on TV, like with all the friends that I have outside of the show, no one's ever called me a lapdog. Right. So when I come on this platform, I'm like, wait a minute, I am not a lapdog. I feel like I'm a good friend, but I'm not a lapdog. And Nene would always say, Cynthia ain't no damn lapdog.
Yeah, I said, Cynthia
please know
beat up Peter.
Like, far from it. Far from it. But those things do stick.
Have you ever used a website platform and given up because you couldn't get the site to look how you wanted? Well, I certainly have. Some platforms have very strict templates where you can't break the mold, quite literally. Wix.com gives you the freedom to build exactly the site you want for any business idea.
Wix puts incredible website creation at your fingertips. With their AI site builder, you answer a few questions. I want to go back really quickly again. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is, I know that, is that before Housewives, you had already started acting. Like, that was your initial entry into the entertainment world. You wanted to be an actress, correct?
Yeah. So I would come to Los Angeles every single year for pilot season because they have pilot season here.
You know, her husband, really quick, is a executive at Disney.
Is he?
Rob?
Who, my husband?
Yeah,
he's a director.
Yeah, he's a director. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would live.
He directed Lion King. I love the way that they just try to play him off like, like, oh yeah, he's just a director at Disney. That man directed Lion King. At this point, he is the owner of Disney.
In Toluca Lake.
Love Toluca.
And these apartments are so old right now, but I can't remember the name of them, but we would check in and they would be fully furnished with everything. They were just for actors that were traveling in from out of the state. Even my son was young and they even had tutors on site to help. You know, with, and so I would come and live there during pilot season for 3 months. And then I would go back to Atlanta. And I was doing it every single year. And the last year that I did, every year that I was coming, I wasn't really getting that much. You know, I would be like, you know, a little one line, you know, a day player,
hard,
an extra.
Yeah. It's a tough business, especially breaking into it.
And
well, listen, here's what I know about that. I might try to figure out some cameos I can get my tail in too. Because if it's something that did well and it's something that's still on the air, you still gonna get a little paycheck from it. We're not gonna complain. Okay, now here's the point, because she already made the mention about, you know, the babies. Somebody has created them as babies. And they're recreating the scenes, which some of them are cute, some of them are cringe. I'm just a very visual person, and even though my sense of humor is a little dark and weird sometimes, I think I'm just too protective over kids, and so I don't like to see kids, and I don't know, being utilized in certain ways. So that's what I mean. Like, so even though it's cute, right? Because we know that these are adults, but just to like the imagery of babies having the conversations that some of these housewives are saying, it's like weird. I mean, like I said, I know they're not real, but whatever. I'm a visual person that way. So I didn't like it. Oh, what I was mentioning is she was talking about being able to get some money from that, you know, because they used in her image. You know, the issue is that you are a reality TV personality, not a public figure. Well, I guess they are one and the same now, but here's what I think. Maybe she don't know this yet. Am I about to drop some tea for the girlies? Because what I think that she can trademark her name, number one. And because I think that's what a lot of celebrities do, right? When we're talking about entertainers, and even some of the actresses, they trademark their own name. So that way, if anybody did want to use their name, they have to get permission to use it. They can't put them on flyers. They can't, they trademark their name, number one. The second thing is, what I was gonna say, outside of trademarking their name, what's the other thing that they do? Um, oh. It popped out. We say, I got a sorority sister friend that works as an extra in NYC. She loves it. She's always telling us to look up for her appearing in certain shows. Oh my God, that's so cool. I know a few people who do, like little stuff here and there. Like, well, of course, I'm in Indiana, close to Illinois. So, of course, Empire filmed out there. The Shy filmed out. A lot of stuff filmed out there. But I mean, like those series regulars. And so I know a few people who've gotten, small roles. And listen, so back to what I was saying about her wanting to monetize everything. It's kind of like you kind of got to take the good with the bad. Like I think reality personalities do not get the same access that a actor would get, whether their start is close to the same or not. But I do think the main thing that she should probably do is trademark her name, because that gives her the authority of who can use her name. And that would be so crazy that I would be the one saying this on a YouTube, and that those people wouldn't already know that. Like nobody in their camp has told them that. Now, what I am gonna say is, when it comes to the housewives work, because that would be anything moving forward, right? But everything that she's done with housewives, like the housewives own it because they have copyrighted that. Um, yeah, it's a sad reality that they don't get the residuals. But I wonder, like I said, if so that what? Put this, y'all save this, pin it, because this is a brainstorm session. Because what it's saying, especially for a person, if you know that you are wanting to get into the industry, maybe you trademark your name before you do it. And so maybe you use that as your leverage when, I don't know, on a show or in your contract about what you can get and have access to. It's almost like the Bethany clause. Michelle, mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I can't believe I would be the one saying that. Like, and it's a new piece of information to these people who are in this industry. Um, but also, like I said, just to get ahead of the game, if your plan is to be that, what does it hurt to trademark your name? It's yours. And yes, and it gives you the control over your name that you will want. Most times people forget that when they are on the grind, and when they are just trying to be trying to get on, trying to get famous, they sign contracts and they don't care. Like they don't care that this, or the thought is not there. So going back to this show, they're not thinking that this show is going to go any further than whatever they're doing, which is really crazy that you would be somewhere like that and not have a plan or a thought for a future. That's so I don't know. I don't know. I used to think that I didn't have the hope I thought, and then I realized I do, because I plan and live a lot for a future. And so I'm realizing that that's my hopefulness. And I like that. Anyway, so yeah, I think that a person should go into the game. I was going to compare it to the Bethany clause. What I said about Bethany is, so now in those housewives contracts, they have a Bethany clause that requires the housewives to pay a percentage of their businesses that they advertise on the show. And that started with Bethany Frankel from Real Housewives of New York, who signed a 40 something million deal with Jim Beam for her alcohol, for her company, Skinny Girl Margarita. And it's all because she came on that show. She was a natural food chef. She had Skinny Girl. That was her business and brand. And she was marketing that on Real Housewives of New York. Of course, this is all new. Nobody is knowing that in 3 years, Jim Beam would come and give her $40 million to take over her Skinny Girl Margarita. And that is exactly what happened. So that's where Bethany started off on New York Housewives, broker than every housewife on there. Bethany started off broker than every housewife outside of Britt Eady, because Britt Eady is the brokest housewife today. But it was Bethany, and she turned around and ended up being the one with the most money out of them all. Yeah, Crystal said that's why she don't advertise her water on there. But honestly, I've never heard Crystal. You know what? I got that information and it was real. It might have been on the Carlos King interview, because however way I got that information, I wasn't looking for it. I'll tell you that. It just kind of came to me. But I think it's that same. Those are just things that people do. See, like her husband is the director for Lion King, so people make investments and stuff like that. Wingstop is Rick Ross. Got a pizza place. Blaze, is it? LeBron. And not that he started these things, but they invested and they make money outside of, the way that they make money. But yeah, she just was an investment and nobody cared anyway. Nobody was going to get your water, girl.
I would be leaving my baby at times, and I said, you know what? My last year coming, I said, you know what? This is not for me. God must want me to be a housewife and a mom. It's
literally
sad.
A housewife.
Yes, it's so sad. I'm gonna have to be a housewife and a mom, and I'm gonna just go back to Atlanta, and I'm not coming back next pilot season. When I said that, and I went back home, and that's when I met the producers of the Housewives.
Wow!
I literally was giving up.
Wow!
Yeah.
No, you weren't giving up. I mean, it was just the universe was pushing you to where you're supposed to be.
I was like, this is it. I can't leave my son anymore. I'm not getting any work. And the producer's not going to.
Now imagine you had booked a big role, like the whole housewife portion of your life, maybe would not have even happened.
Never.
And then maybe it wouldn't have happened for us either, because then it because you were really, who was the first show for Housewives? Was it Orange County?
Orange County.
And then Atlanta was second, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Atlanta was second. I want to say.
I think Atlanta was second.
No, it wasn't.
Third?
We came like third. I want to say Jersey or New York one came before us.
Maybe it was New York.
Yeah, like it might have been New York, and that makes sense.
Yeah, and Jersey might have came after us.
Yeah.
It was New York.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your acting. Your breakout roles. You were on Glee.
I was on Glee.
And The New Normal.
The New Normal.
What were your favorite out of those two? Which ones were your favorite to film?
Actually, okay.
I came on set with you, The New Normal.
Yeah, my favorite role in my life has been Broadway.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's Chicago.
I was in Chicago. I was in Cinderella.
Yes.
Kiki was Cinderella. I was the wicked stepmom. And I was Mamma Mia in Chicago. And I feel like I stepped into Broadway and swung that door open for all the housewives to be through.
You were really the first housewife to transcend reality into being like a bona fide actor.
Yeah. Because at first they really, didn't kind of see it for us. Because reality stars like coming on shows. And when I stepped to the Broadway role, they opened that door for all these girls to come. I think Candy, Erica, who else has been on Broadway?
Rinna did Chicago.
Rinna has been in.
Rinna, let me insert right there. Lisa Rinna joined Beverly Hills Housewives as she's an actress. Lisa Rinna go way back to Melrose Place. And Lisa Rinna did Broadway prior to being on Housewives. Let me go to my Google just to make sure. I am almost certain that I'm right about that. Lisa Rinna is not a part of the girls who did it after being housewives. And I would have to agree with Nene that she kicked that door open on Broadway. She kicked that door open for a lot of the scripted stuff. As far as being able to do appearances and cameos and playing another character, not coming on as themselves. Real talk, I haven't liked Nene in scripted stuff. She needs Tasha Smith's classes. Okay, so fun fact, I've not seen her in anything scripted. I didn't watch, was it Modern Family she was on? Am I saying it right? Or whatever show it was, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch Glee. Glee is something that I would have watched. I just didn't because I like musicals. So I would have watched Glee, but I didn't. And so I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her in anything scripted. I've seen her make an appearance, but not where she had to play somebody other than Nene Leakes.
Oh, Rinna, really?
Yeah, okay, she did Roxy Hart.
Okay, did she?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I was Mama Morton, I'm sorry.
Mama Morton.
And then Cinderella. Then I had a residency in Vegas, Zoomanity. You remember that?
Oh, that's right.
You did Zoomanity?
Yes, I was the mistress of ceremony.
Oh, wow.
I think we shot that for Housewives.
Yeah, we did
I think
shoot
we
for
all
Housewives.
came to Vegas
We
to
did,
see you for
yes,
that.
we did. And then I did.
So I was right. I am right. Just so for the record, Lisa Rinna was on Broadway in 2007. So it was before Housewives of Atlanta even aired, number one. And there certainly was not any other housewife on Broadway prior to that. So Lisa is not included in that group. She is a housewife that has been on Broadway, but she did her Broadway stint prior to Housewives because her profession is an actress. Girl, I was headed to Walgreens, went outside. Oh, has it been really hot? Because I feel like we got some thunderstorms and stuff a couple days ago, but that's because we had all that like hot weather. It's like, not today, not today. Oh, you said the Glee episodes was horrible? She was good on the Upshaws, and yep, she played a housewife. Well, of course, yeah. That's what I say. Like, she gonna be good at playing herself, but I mean, that's okay. Be yourself.
Glee and New Normal. So many reality shows, though. So many.
What do you think?
Like, take us back. What other reality shows have you done?
Yeah.
Because
so,
I've
done
a lot.
Celebrity Apprentice with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I did Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
I did The Price is Right, which I love.
My goodness.
Damn, I've done so
many. That's a dream show, by the way, Price is Right.
Cynthia and I together did Cupcake Wars.
Oh, that's right.
You did?
I forgot about that one. Cupcake Wars.
Cupcake Wars.
You know, that's like a dream. I want to watch that. No, I got to watch that.
I did one of the Top Chef cook-offs with my husband, and it was couples.
Yeah.
So I did that. Oh, shit. I mean, I've done so many reality things. I can't even think of all of them. I've done so many.
Okay, so you were asked to come back. You were asked to do Traitors.
Well, yes, I was asked to do Traitors.
And then we heard that you were not doing it. Yeah. Why did you choose not to do it?
So I was asked to do Traitors. I was really excited about doing it, by the way.
Yeah, we talked about it, but it wasn't public at that time.
Is it public now?
It is. It is
because they set the cast.
Yeah, because I think since you didn't do it, I think they took Portia.
It was Portia and Tamar.
Oh, it was always those two?
No, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know because they did not reveal to me who the cast was going to be.
Yeah, and Portia didn't tell me either, so I was like, maybe she replaced you.
So I kind of felt like they did get Portia.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but why didn't you do it?
I couldn't do Traitors because my son's in the hospital, and he's still in the hospital. And so my son's been in the hospital since May. like early May.
When I shot the Nene Leakes show with you, I felt like Brent went in then.
No,
or maybe he was already there.
He was already there.
Okay, wow, that's
he's been there about 2 months.
How's he doing?
He's doing a lot better. He's turned a curve. He has a little while longer to be there, but he's turned a curve.
Okay, and Crystal.
Yeah, I want to be sensitive because I don't.
Can you tell her what Britt is dealing with? If you
okay,
she doesn't,
Brent,
and our fans may not
when my
know.
husband died, we only had one son, which is my son Brent, and at 22 he had a stroke and a heart attack. And from the stroke, his heart was weak and it never got back strong. So he needed a heart transplant. So he's had a heart transplant since then. And what's happening now is his heart started rejecting. And so they are now trying to stop the rejection.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow,
so,
that's a lot on.
Yeah, he's really young.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot on us. Really
I'm so sorry.
Man, we're gonna send our prayers up for Brent. I didn't know she did Wildin' Out too. That's funny. But yeah, we're gonna send our prayers up for King Brent. I think that's what he calls himself on his IG. I did not know that until, of course, she is saying this. Now, what we did know, because that had come out in the press, is that he had the stroke. I believe we knew that he needed a heart transplant or had one. But what we didn't know is that he's still going through and fighting that because his body is rejecting. And that is something that you have to worry about when there's a transplant, organ transplant, I guess any type of transplant, is that your body might reject what's being transplanted. So I cannot imagine what Nene, just for her to be able to sit there and talk to them, just shows a lot of strength because he is young. And like as a mom, you lost your husband, that's his dad. And yeah, it's been a few years now, but to have your son be in this position and all you can do is really just wait and hope that it gets better, that's got to be a lot. And I can see why she would turn down something like Traders, because that is not the environment you can be in while your son kind of needs you to be available to him. So sending prayers to King Brent that he is able to that his body is able to accept his new heart and he's able to make a full recovery.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Do they know why he had the stroke to begin with?
They can just kind of assume. One of the things I was told was Brent was starting to become a diabetic. And from what I'm learning, that diabetes trigger a lot of things.
My mom is diabetic and she recently had a mini stroke. She's doing okay now. That was maybe about 3 months ago. And she's definitely full on diabetic. For sure.
Yeah.
So I think there may be some truth to that. For
so let me tell you, with Traders, from the meeting I had, you need to leave by the June 10th, June 11th, something like that. I'm so glad I said no. Because, in my mind, I kept thinking maybe by June 10th, Brent will be much better, just thinking that in my head. But my fear was committing and then having to go back to them and say, I can't do it.
Right.
So that was never going to work.
Yeah.
Brent was very sick, like very sick. It was no way I could have committed to it. And you have to leave to go out of the country.
Yeah.
Right?
So they filmed Traders in Scotland.
In Scotland.
Okay.
Right. And so I was like, damn, like this is going to be like my chance to do all these great things and come back like really strong, right? And they were talking to me on the phone, like telling me, we want you to do this and this, and this is going to happen. And there was no way I could do it. Yeah. Immediately I hung up the phone and knew when I hung up the phone that I couldn't do it.
Well, I can say this, and I was excited for you to do it.
Yeah.
Because you're just good ass TV.
Yeah.
And I would love to see you in that space. Because I've never really seen you do a competition
I wanted to
show
check
like
too,
that.
let's be understanding.
Oh, no, we always want to check. We always want to check.
I saw on the blogs where a blogger had said, Nene did not take Traders because the check wasn't big enough. I was like, no.
That's not true.
No, I got the check.
You got the check.
Yeah. I couldn't do it.
Well, you know what? As mothers, I get it. there's no way. Like
100%.
I would have gone either.
No, it was too hard.
And it's such a struggle for us because we're like basically independent, like financially. We're in that space. A lot of us as housewives, and it's hard to leave money on the table. It's always that struggle, especially good money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Now that's an oxymoron if I ever heard one. Don't think. How the hell are y'all financially independent as housewives? As housewives, most of us are financially independent. Okay. I mean, it's true, but that's the irony, right? Because that's not the classic definition of what you think when you think housewife. But as we see, as we watch Real Housewives, we don't get the classic definitions of housewife anyway. I thought the phrase was quite funny in itself. She should have laughed at that herself after she got it out her mouth.
To like choose between family and a check. Your child and a check, because you're, part of the reason why you work so hard is to help your children as well.
Well, if Brent had been in the place that he's in today, like today with us coming to LA, if he had been in this place, I would have went.
Okay.
He's, like we can FaceTime him. He's talking. He'd probably be glad we FaceTime him so he can have somebody to talk to. He's like, he's bored. So now he's up. He wasn't walking at the time. Now he's walking. He's talking. He's doing too much now.
I have a feeling you'll be asked next season again anyway. Like it's your time will come and it'll probably be sooner than later. Like you would be the star of that season anyway. So you made the right decision.
You know what? So I have to feel good about things. Do you know what I mean? Like it just has to be easy. If it's any difficulty, I don't want to do it.
And you have to trust yourself.
You do.
You have to trust
your
intuition. It has
to be something easy for me.
And it would have affected you filming the show.
Oh, it would have.
It would have been in the back of your head the whole time.
If they had called me and told me anything with Brent, I would not be well. And be.
That's exactly what I said. There was no way she could be out there trying to film while her son is sitting up in the hospital hoping that his body is accepting his heart. Traitors is not the show to go on with that type of stress, in your home and personal life. That is not where you want to be. Because to be in Traitors, to play that game and to play it well, you got to be in the game. Your head got to be in the game. It can't be with your child. So she absolutely made the right decision. They absolutely are going to call her back again. Nene is listen. So the great thing about what we're seeing, and here's the great thing about seeing Phaedra back on Housewives. Not that I was looking for her to come. And I know that Andy already did confirm like that, her not being on the Housewives all the time was like her being put on punishment, right? She had to sit out. And he does that, right? We've noticed that for a long time, is that he used ways to punish, and Nene knows that. Like that's kind of some of the ways they would play with her, about her episodes and things. That's what we saw. That's why we saw her like behaving the way she was. And that, like a lot of times it's bad on you as the person and the personality, because it makes you look out of character and like you are acting out. But I knew when I was watching her in those places, I knew enough to say like, okay, she's upset that they're not, like they're kind of mistreating her, at least to her. Not to say if they were or not, but to her, she felt like she wasn't being respected as the person who put the entire franchise on the map. And she did. Bethany, I'm gonna bring up Bethany for New York. Bethany and that $43 million deal she signed with Jim Beam, that was amazing. But let me tell you something. Wasn't nobody watching New York Housewives. Okay? Wasn't nobody watching New York Housewives. The only news that came out of New York Housewives was Bethany got that $43 million deal. That's it. That might have been the first time some of those ladies had heard the word New York Housewives. But for everything else, it's Nene. And I do agree that they kind of was playing her. And that's what they do. They do that to us, though. We watch them do that to us. But anyway, what I'm going to say is, it's good to know that even though she did file a lawsuit, I think that was impulsive. And I don't know that she had the backing she would have needed. But it's a good thing that she didn't burn all the bridges, and that they still will do business with her as far as NBC Universal. That's a huge freaking company. I like Britt Eady. That's what I'm saying. Like, you are a DAM fool. Like, cause how are you, Little Miss Nobody, going up against NBC Universal for defamation of all things? This lady had a whole discrimination lawsuit against them, and you see where it's at, right? So defamation for a reality show is like delusion at its finest. And I didn't mean to turn this into anything about Brit, but all I'm getting back to is, I'm glad that she didn't burn her bridges for good, and I'm glad that NBC is still getting Nene out there, and just like they did with Phaedra. All it took was for Phaedra to make that appearance on Dubai. When she came on Real Housewives of Dubai, I told my cousin then, I said, when they showed the preview and they put Phaedra in that clip, and I knew she was only going to be in one little scene, but they put her in that clip. I said to my cousin, I said, oh, it's only a matter of time before she back on. And the next season, we saw her on Traders. The next season, she came to Married to Medicine for 2 seasons, and now she is back at Real Housewives of Atlanta. Everything is not rocket science, and some stuff be right in your face. You just got to pay attention. And as long as they okay with playing the game that these people play, they gonna go on and pick you back up again. Because they're not gonna turn their backs away from no money. And Nene is the Housewives franchise. That's it. That's that. We all know that, and it's undisputed.
That far away. Like, I'm in LA, I can get home.
Right.
Like, going all the way to Scotland.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.
And trying to get back, like, that was far.
Yeah.
What's a reality show that you would like to do that you haven't been asked to do?
I don't know that I've never been asked. I think I've been asked to do everything.
Were you asked to do Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother?
Yes, I'm asked to do Big Brother every year, and I say no. Now, that's one show I say no to.
Why?
I just don't think I can do it. And then, I've snuck around and asked enough people. Yeah. Even you, like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, no, I can't do that.
Really?
Girl, no. It's like y'all are locked in a red.
Is it being cut off from the world for that amount of time?
I can't.
Yeah.
It's no way
I actually can't imagine you without your phone.
I can't. Girl, listen, I was on College Hill and I had just started dating, right? I was newly dating, like, and so I was on the show College Hill, and we were in Houston. Yep. And I was on my phone. They had a note. Like,
get off the phone.
I was on the phone with him 24/7, like, seriously. I couldn't even, and we would be filming and I would be like, I gotta hurry up and get rid of this scene. I need to talk on my phone.
Right.
Like, they didn't want you to have your phone. Celebrity Apprentice, they would take our phones and lock them up. That was, I can't do it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And every year, hey, Big Brother.
Yeah. Hello, shout out to Big Brother.
They reach out to me every year and ask me to do the show, and I can't do it.
Yeah.
I get that. That's hard. Especially nowadays. Like, if you did Big Brother 20 years ago, it's easier to drop your phone.
Yeah.
Today, it's like your lifeline.
Yeah, but I would tell you this. I'm not a good game player, so I don't even know why people ask me to play games. I don't even play games.
It's because you're good television.
I suck at games as well.
I don't know. This girl's the worst game player.
They asked me to go to Ireland to do Name That Tune.
Yeah, Name That Tune.
I was so freaked out. I was like, it's no way I'm going. I don't even know a tune.
Right.
Like, I know the songs, but I don't know the name.
Listen,
so
I don't. Like, you get like, and here's the clue. They'll be like, okay, so here's the clue, and it's like do, and they're like, okay, name. You're like,
right?
Can I get more? No, and you have to try to guess it. I played against Teddy Mellencamp. And
oh Lord.
She kicked my ass the whole game. And then they messed around toward the final.
Wait a minute. Speaking of Teddy Mellencamp, how the hell do I always forget that John Mellencamp is Teddy Mellencamp's daddy? Listen, I cannot stand Teddy Mellencamp. Like, Teddy Mellencamp is like the mole that you keep getting removed and it keep coming back. Teddy is horrible. Even her own daddy don't want to be bothered with her. And I hate to talk about that girl like that because she been sick. Oh, girl had some tumors. Oh my God. But this is the point I'm talking about. That girl got out the hospital from having them tumors removed. And the first thing she get on her podcast to talk about is who didn't check in on her, which housewives called her and which housewives didn't. If you don't get off my line with this nonsense, girl, don't nobody care about you, Teddy. Ugh. Ugh. I can't believe it. Somebody said Nene got to stop turning down stuff or they will quit asking. The woman's son is sick. She should be ashamed. She would be she would be Shamia. That's right. That's right. You right. And that, well, listen, here's the beauty. Now, the funny thing is I get what a person will say, like, okay, eventually they're going to stop asking. That might be true, but I guess if she said no 13 times, maybe the clue is that they should stop asking. I'm not sure that that's a flex, is that they won't ask. But again, I think that who Nene is in the housewife universe, it is what it is. Everybody's gonna ask her to come and do something because, like Crystal even said it, like she said, hell, Crystal, they all been on Real Housewives. They all, are in the Bravo family. So on one end, Crystal should be like looking at her like a peer. But no, Nene's that girl because if Nene hadn't been who she was, Beverly Hills would not be sitting where they are. So Crystal may have never got a chance for us to ever know who she was, whether we like her or not, if it hadn't been for Nene. I can't say that would have been a Beverly Hills. We don't know. What's that? Let's say she said. Nene said, "Don't expect her to be in too many reality TV game shows because she's not good at games." Who is John Mellencamp is a singer. He is a rock singer. And I know who he is. I do like his music. He has a song that was really famous on a commercial, and then it's a really famous song in general, but I think it's called like Wild Ones. So if you kind of Google that and listen to a snippet or something, you'll probably kind of be like, oh, I heard that before. But that's who John Mellencamp is. And like I said, he is Teddy's dad. But we like John Mellencamp. We cannot stand Teddy. When you have been ill, and I know because I've a life-threatening illness, it truly hurts when the folks you thought cared about you didn't check on you. You know what? Okay, you're right. You are right. I was being harsh to Teddy. I think I was being harsh with Teddy because she was literally specifically talking about the housewives. And I kind of felt like, because she hadn't been on Beverly Hills in a few years at this point, she does have a podcast with Tamra, which Tamra is an OC housewife. And they are close. Kyle and Teddy are still close. So I just thought that for what she was dealing with, that her attention could have been somewhere else. And I did think she was doing it for clickbait. Teddy has a pick me spirit. And well, it's my platform and I get to say what I want, and God knows my heart. So she's the type of pick me that I almost would have thought, is she faking this? I don't, and I don't I only know her on TV. Like, I don't know this lady from McCann and Paint. Y'all know that. But that's the type of impression that I get from her, is that that's the pick me that she was. And so that move felt a little pick me-ish, because I'm kind of like, which housewives fool with you and which ones don't. So it felt like she was just trying to get a lot of extra sympathy and at the same time throwing other people under the bus. And it's still just a nasty trait. Like, I get what you're saying. I get it. She wasn't coming from a hurt place. She was coming from a nasty place. She wanted the fans and the people who heard that information to be nasty to them about it. And I think that speaks volumes for why you wondering why ain't nobody showed up. Nah, that's what I'm gonna say about that. Oh wait, I watched Beverly Hills, but just started with Garcelle. Now, if you just started, I don't know if are you at the beginning, what season, or are you where with Garcelle? Because Teddy and Garcelle are on at the same time, I think. Let me think. Are Teddy and Garcelle on at the same time? Let me see. Or maybe Garcelle came on the year after maybe Garcelle was Teddy's replacement. Let me see. Garcelle referred to Teddy as a gnat. And I just said she was a mole. You keep getting removed, but it keep coming back. But a gnat is better because, yes, she's annoying like a gnat. That was better. I'm trying to see. I can't. I can't remember if they were on at the same time. I can't remember if they on at the same time. They might have been. I don't know. But Teddy is annoying. She is so annoying. Remember, everybody was mad at Nene when she mentioned who sent stuff for Greg. I could relate to Nene. Yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right. I mean, this is why we do that type of stuff, though. Like, put stuff in perspective. You are right about that. And I guess when we're thinking about, okay, I take it back. Teddy may have had one instance in which she had the right to feel how she did and act how she did. Because I'm thinking about it, and you make a great point about them being in this society, this secret society, right? Like, it's a sorority of their own to have been a real housewife. Whether that, like Crystal said, once a housewife, always a housewife. Like, whether it's one season or 10, that's a club that nobody else gets to participate in unless they've been a housewife. And so I get it. You're right. If nobody else reached out, that circle, that group should, because, like it or not, that is a shared experience. It's a shared bond. And yeah, it should be acknowledged and honored. So okay, fine. Teddy was right. Oh, that's so funny. Fine. No, I started back when Garcelle did. Okay. So have they mentioned Teddy? Because that means that Teddy was on before Garcelle then. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't remember if they was on together. So they say they both were in for season 10. Okay. Okay. So season 10 now. All right, you started season 11. Okay. Now where is Denise in all of this? Because she's a nutcase too, baby. Like, whew. And I know she was on at the same time that Teddy was on too, but she also was on so that must be season 10. That must be the season Denise Richards is on there. Yeah, you probably want to go back to season 10 just so maybe you can get a little feel for Teddy and see what you think about Teddy. Teddy is annoying as hell.
In the ending of the game, I had one chance to like answer something right. Girl, why did I somehow, by some miracle, get the one question right that gave me the most money and I won the game in the end?
Oh!
Like I always win at the end or come close to winning. Like I suck all the way through. But baby, don't count me out because I might just get that one question
you might
right.
have to count me out. I just be like, forget it. I get this call and they say, Nene, so we have this show. Have you ever heard the show called Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And I was like, yeah.
Yes.
So we need to, it's a show like, are you smarter than a fifth grader or a celebrity or something? And I was like, no. I'm not smarter than a fifth grader. Like,
you don't do a show about it. You already know.
Girl, I don't even remember fifth grade.
It's a great show.
What are you saying? I am not smarter than a fifth grade. No, they are smarter than me.
Right.
And they were like, oh, Nene, you'll be good. I said, no. They said, the point is, what's going to make it so fun is that you know, that you don't know the answer. I said, I don't want to look stupid on TV. Like, I don't want to look like I don't know fifth grade. And clearly I don't.
Listen.
So I was like, I'm not doing this. I don't know, am I smarter than a fifth grade? I don't want to do it.
I just said the weakest link. I never had more anxiety. Like they ask you questions.
Oh my God, they asked me about the weakest link. I would have passed out. I am the weakest link. It will never work for me.
Listen.
You don't need to be embarrassed.
Girl, I have so much anxiety. I am the weakest link.
What about Family Feud? I know we're both friends with Steve
I did the Family Feud. You know, I did that with my husband.
That's right.
And my kids.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Who did you guys play against?
I don't know the family. It was another family in entertainment.
Wait, I have a question for you guys. So you guys have been married and divorced on these shows.
Yeah.
Is it weird or?
Okay, Denise is on 10. Okay, but not so I would say go back to Garcelle's first season. So if that's Garcelle's first season, go back to that. Cause Garcelle's history on Beverly Hills, I would love so we can talk about it some more. Cause Beverly Hills gonna come back on, and Garcelle is not gonna be on the next season. I don't think they announced if Bozema is or not, but I just would love for us to dig deeper and talk about Garcelle's her experience with the Beverly Hills Housewives. Now, and funny enough, I do think Crystal comes on in between that. So Crystal must have been, who came in and replaced Teddy? Let me see really quick. Crystal Minkoff. That's her name. Minkoff. All right, let me see. Let me see if it shows what season of Housewives was she on. Okay, it tell me the year, but it doesn't tell me the does not tell me the season. So 2021 and 2022. Let me see. So if it says it's 14 seasons, 2021 and 2022. So that would have been, let's see, it's 14 seasons. It's 2025 now. So 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 4 years ago. So that was season 10? Hey, you said you don't remember, Teddy. That's even funnier because Because yes, she's unrememberable too. She was, and that was the thing. That was what was funny about her too. She came in as an accountability coach. Like, what the hell is an accountability coach? Oh, okay, 11 and 12. Okay, so, well, you right there. Oh, look, and the sun about to come right on out again. Just had to sprinkle a little on y'all, sprinkle a little. So, yeah, well, then you're going to get to see Crystal too. But you already said you didn't like Crystal because you've been watching her, right? Okay, so you getting caught up. We're gonna be right where we need to be for the next season.
Is it hard that to watch your that these exist with your old partners, like these shows?
So when I got married,
divorced and married again on the show.
On the show to the same person.
Okay.
So he didn't date anybody like on the show. He didn't come on the show, and with other women, or he didn't do any of that. So he's older than me too. So he just wasn't that guy.
But I'm saying, is it weird to watch it back now that you were like once married to this person and seeing yourself in a relationship? And is that odd? To have like actual footage of your past.
Yeah.
In that way.
Well, what's odd to me is if they show a clip and I see Greg in it.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I look at it like, and Greg is not even living.
Man, listen, Linda. I watched those old episodes of Atlanta, and the first is that it's nostalgia, right? So it's just nostalgia. But baby, when we get to that season, there's a scene, like, it's bringing tears to my eyes right now. Because Greg started to go through his surgery or his illness, and they had to take him back to like imaging. He was going to be scanned or whatever. And he was singing the song like he was I'll never give up, I'll never give in. I was born to fight, born to win. I just, like, that makes me cry every freaking time because it is unreal. Like, he was such a sweet soul and a good husband from what we could tell, right? And just sad. And I think that Nene is like, even for them to have gotten divorced and got back together on that show, I think that was just a testament to them actually being soulmates and Nene needing Greg, and I'm glad Greg was able to get whatever he needed, get in where he fit in to be what he needed to be for Nene at the point in which she became, the breadwinner. But yeah, he's such a sweetheart. And one of the best husbands on Housewives we've ever been able to watch. And so that's just really sad. And that scene just really gets to me every time. You say, okay, I see now why Dennis the Menace heavily trying to get into politics. Phaedra made the mistake of telling them she was interested in politics. Now listen, I was wondering if it was the other way around, but you probably right. You probably right. The best husband, yeah. You say 98 times I'd have been out of there, huh? But yeah, he was a really good husband.
Yeah.
I just look at it like, okay, there's Greg. Because he's so full of life, on the screen, and then to not actually be here on Earth, it's like, I don't know. It's just, I was just looking at some pictures of us and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
We were so happy in that moment. And then it's like, okay, he's not here.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about this on your show. I think people see you as the strong woman.
Yeah.
But you've been through a lot. Like, I've never lost a husband. So that mourning process, Brent's health issues. But
it's a lot.
You're able to, how are you able to keep going? Keep being Nene?
Now that's probably the strong part.
Okay.
That's probably the strong side of me. But I think when people think of me as strong, I think they don't think that I ever have weak moments. because I have weak moments, right? So you have moments where you're like, oh my God, like, or you cry and that kind of stuff.
When was the last time you cried?
I think I cried yesterday. I think Yanni could tell you, he's went out. Yeah.
I think crying is good. I think it's good
girl,
to
I just cry. It don't even matter. I don't have long to cry.
Honey, so her and her man back on. You heard her just say Yanni, just like Kenya got that broke ass man over there with her. So her and her man back on.
I get crap out 10 minutes and got to go.
You got to jump back on the saddle, child.
That's your strength coming
I get to pull it back together, girl. Come on. And I think I was having a disagreement with him, actually. I was already on the edge and wasn't having a great day. And then me and him were kind of going back and forth. And I was like, okay, I can't take this. Like, I really don't need this right now. Like, I need you to be softer, not harder. Yeah. I am strong, but I also have a real side, you have a real side to you.
Yeah. Do you feel like because your persona is this strong Nene, you're the rock, you're like, you're impermeable. Like, do you feel like people treat you like you're you're not as vulnerable? Or
right.
It's that.
Now I get that all the time.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, she's okay.
Right.
Or she will be okay. When I'm actually like, no, I won't.
Right. You need a hug too.
Yeah. I won't be okay.
Yeah.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm like driving my car like I am not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is wrong with y'all? I actually have to say that to him a lot too. I'm like, I am not okay.
Yeah.
What makes you think I'm fine?
Right.
And he's like, you're fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
People would tend to the other person more than to me. Like they feel like I'm gonna be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The one who's actively crying will get it more.
I it's just kind of way the world works. And I have a lot of things that I do for myself, to keep myself sane. Prayer is obviously one of them. And I talk myself through a prayer a lot. I could be in my car like, Nene, okay, be strong, Nene. Nene, I could just be talking to myself about things.
Yeah.
You have those, I can travel by myself. Those things make me feel at peace. And we were just, a friend of ours, we ran into last night. He's a guy and he was by himself and he had like 5 or 6 securities around him. And I'm like, where do these people be going? I do everything kind of like, oh my, I don't need all these securities with me. Like, I'm really shocked and surprised.
Yeah.
Like,
you've always been kind of a lone wolf.
Yeah.
Like you always had like friends.
Yeah.
But you definitely can ride alone. Like even going through the airport, like a lot of our castmates, we have greeters and stuff, so we don't have to go.
I haven't had a
greeter
in so long.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's paying for a greeter for me, I'm happy to take it without question. Yeah. And sometimes I do it for myself if I feel like I just need some help. But one of the things I will say, because we've traveled together a lot, when I tell you, Nene's definitely always walked right through the airport, and she's probably one of the most recognizable ones. But she's like, no, she get a little magazine, go through, sit there, eat her little food.
I go through by myself a lot. I go through the airport by myself a lot.
Do you get recognized like everywhere you go?
Every step of the way.
Every country?
Every place.
What place were you the most surprised that people knew you?
Probably nowhere.
All over the world.
Everywhere I go, you could probably tell you. It doesn't even matter where we go. Somebody at some point, we can be way out of the country. They're going to say, hi, Nene, how are you? And I'm like...
That's the weirdest part, right?
That's funny. So I didn't become a Nene fan until she left the show. I always ride for the underdog, and I did not like how the world was treating Nene. So I had to jump on the bandwagon to win me out. Oh, I like Nene from day one. But for me, and so it's funny because I think she on Carlos King referred to herself as the underdog on the cast. And I think that we're gonna do our live. We're gonna probably do the live this weekend for season 1, Real Housewives. But she was right in comparison to where all the other ladies were. Even with Sheree in the middle of a divorce and in the middle of wanting this delusional 7 figures, the fact that was something she thought she could have that was in her grasp would just let you know that she was in a different space than Nene, in that way. So I think Nene had been the underdog, and I think she was relatable to a lot of us. And I think that did help catapult her too. You know, like again, her sayings and everything did. Because that was first season. Close your legs to marry men, which of course that was gonna get everything because everybody was thinking it. Relatable, right? Everybody was thinking it. It's the first time we actually saw a woman kind of be on there and be proud to date a married man. Tisa tells the only. Who is Tisa? I always thought she was good for the show, but couldn't see myself being her friend. Now that one, you probably right. I don't know what kind of friend I could be to Nene.
When they feel like they really know you and they talk to you like,
oh no, that's not the part that
girlfriends.
gets me. The part that gets me is when somebody said, "Hi, Cynthia." I said, "Oh,
Right."
Like you do not know me on that level.
Oh, wow.
Like I need you to not call me Cynthia.
Right.
Like you don't know me like that. Now you have to go to school with me to know to call me Cynthia.
Not Cynthia.
And they're like Cynthia, and I'm like,
yeah.
So when did you become Nene? On the show or before? Is that yours?
All of my life, yeah. My aunt always calls me Nene instead of, just short for Cynthia. She always said Nene. And I went through school as Nene.
It's funny because you're like a one-name person and a two-name person. People know you as Nene, but a lot of people call you Nene Leaks.
Yeah, and it's crazy that there are a lot of people that call me Leaks.
And a lot of people call you Leaks.
I think
I'm a two-namer. I'm Cynthia Bailey. No one really calls me Cynthia. It's like, Cynthia Bailey.
I'm Nene Leaks.
Yeah.
You're Nene Leaks for me.
Yeah.
You're Crystal Minko. You're a two-name person.
A two-name.
I think so.
Nene Leaks or Leaks.
What other pet peeves do you have?
My other pet peeve, I don't like ignorance. I think I used to say that all the time.
You did, yeah.
Like it drives me insane for people to like just say.
Like give us an example of like something.
I don't know, just ignorant stuff. Just stuff that just
like when people say dumb shit.
Yeah, it just drives me because it's like, why did you say that? Because that's so stupid.
Well, speaking of dumb shit, how do you deal with social media? Like, because how do you deal with social media?
What do you mean?
Like, just in terms of negativity, toxic comments.
Well, I've been on social media.
Are you blocking people? Are you muting people? Are you unfollowing? Are you reading the comments?
What's so crazy is being on Housewives. When we got on Housewives, we didn't have Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Instagram.
Wow.
So when I started on Housewives, we didn't have Twitter, but Twitter came shortly after. And I remember Deshaun Snow saying to me, I'm on Twitter and people keep asking for you. You need to get on Twitter. And I was like, Twitter? Like I was never, like growing up, I didn't have a MySpace?
A MySpace.
See, I didn't have one of those accounts.
Yeah.
I didn't get a Facebook account until way later. I wasn't.
Now, if Nene don't get her head on straight talking about growing up, I didn't have a MySpace. No, duh, girl, because you was grown when MySpace came out. She is funny. Oh my God. Oh, dang. Okay. Well, oh my God, is because I happen to be on my IG, but they are setting Diddy's sentencing for October 3rd. It is July 8th. Wow.
Into social media.
Right.
But I did get on Twitter and then I got on Instagram. And now I'm on everything.
Yeah.
Okay. I have been doing this so long. I will say in the beginning, some of the comments would really bother me.
Yeah.
But I've been doing this for so many years. Now I don't really care about the comments. I actually try to teach people around me like this.
Do you read the comments?
I do sometimes. I read the first few just to see where we going, how this is going.
Right.
And then after that, like
it's all the same.
Yeah. If you post something and they're like, okay, why is her arm like that? Then I may be like, okay, what is happening with my arm then? Because some people see things.
They catch everything.
They do. They see things that I don't see, maybe. But now I'm not concerned with the comments. They don't bother me. It would have to be something really big for me to want to respond to it. Now I don't even respond. I post a picture and if I go back and look and they say, I spelled the word wrong.
Right.
I don't head in it. I just post a picture and keep it moving. Yeah. Because see, look, this is one of the things you have to know what this is, right? Mm-hmm. For the people that don't know, they are the ones that are coming. They're the ones that worry. Mm-hmm. We know we're in it, right? We get it. We know what this is. And, it doesn't matter if they're commenting good or bad. It still works for you, right? Yep. So they can say bad things. It still worked for you. Because if you were not important, they would not be talking about you. If you're not important, you're not.
And that's the truth. That's why Carlos be telling these reality TV people. And you know what? The same go for us too as content creators. Now, listen, you want to engage with your community, right? You want to engage. But the comment section is for the community, right? It's for everybody else to get in, talk about it, discuss it. So yeah, I wouldn't now I think, okay, because I am usually posting other people's content or other people's business. Any of the comments usually should not be directed towards me. Every now and then on TikTok can get a little fresh. But usually I find that most people kind of keep it pretty cute. Yeah, people keep it pretty cute, but y'all know that that's what I want over here in this community. Okay, we gonna tell the truth, but we gonna do it with kindness. Okay, we are not gonna just run nobody through the mud. Okay, not unless they deserve it. And I don't know what the criteria is for that. I'll be the judge. No, let me stop. You say I never hit MySpace and lied. Facebook was here years before I got on. Just got on IG and Twitter. Okay. No TikTok or Snapchat. Now here's what's funny. So I had a MySpace that's why that was funny to me, because I know Nene is older than me. I'm 45 and she was 43 to be exact 14 years ago. So I know she is good and older than me. Okay. So when I had a MySpace, which that is the first thing that came out of this type of social space where and it's funny that you could create the page, like you could add music to it. So it's funny that I had my little creative juices flowing even then with the stuff. I'll never forget my brother calling me on the phone because he went to my MySpace page and he was just like amazed by the way I had the pictures coming in and out and the song I picked. And it was pretty cool. I did good on my little MySpace profile. But anyway, and Tom was your first friend. Or no, Tom is Facebook, but it was the same thing for MySpace. I can't remember what his name was. But he was automatically a friend of yours. Anyway, or maybe was it Tom? It might have been Tom. Anyway, I tried Twitter, but Twitter, I think they've changed a little bit now, but Twitter was very strict about the characters in the beginning. And I talk way too much to be able to bring my thoughts down to like a 40 character saying. So I didn't like it. I would go on there and I kind of would look around, but I didn't like it. So I never really got into Twitter, and I actually deactivated and deleted the page that I did have. And I did that when they changed it to X because I didn't like the app. That big black X on my phone, it just felt like something I wasn't supposed to go into. It reminded me, y'all know on the cartoons, like to identify like poison, they would have like the X on the bottle or like the skeleton, so that's kind of what it put me in the mind frame of. And I was just like, I'm good on that. I tried Snapchat. Snapchat is for the young people. I'm not with Snapchat. And Snapchat is for the young, sneaky people. Like your messages disappearing in 24 hours and all of that. Like, I don't even have anybody I talk to that my messages need to disappear in 24 hours. And I don't want to fool with nobody who do use it like that, because I don't know. I don't know. I've been done wrong by some people, and I just feel like that's a sneaky app. My kids have used it. When my son went to college, my oldest, I did get Snapchat then because he was having this issue talking about he wasn't getting no reception, but I could always get in touch with him through that Snapchat. But so I did have it, and the only people I had on there was like my sons and family. Anyway, so that is now deactivated. I don't have that anymore. I do have a TikTok. That's kind of how I got started with YouTube. And I do have an IG. Facebook, I have, but it's just for purposes of being there. I don't really fool with Facebook very much. I think the people over there are a little bit miserable. So I just stick over here with the YouTube crew, TikTok, and Instagram. Because those my peoples, okay?
Being talked about, right? So welcome it. Welcome the gossip.
Good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
Yeah.
Because you are still relevant.
Somebody told me one time, somebody that was trying to become a television personality or just even get press, they were like, Cynthia, I would pay for somebody to talk bad about me on social media.
It would.
Because I was told a long time ago, like, all good press, bad press is all press.
It's all press.
At the end of the day. Because they can talk about anybody, good or bad, and they're talking about you, me.
Yes, welcome it. Welcome it. Sometimes it's a hard welcome.
Yeah.
And a lot of things I say to people, once you hit the blogs, they don't have a 24 hours. So just live for 24 hours.
That's
Close your phone. After 24 hours, they are on to the next.
Yes.
They do not have time to dwell on you.
Yes.
They are on to the next subject.
Yeah.
So don't worry. Your thing will be pushed on down the timeline. Don't worry about it. So welcome it.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Unless they're saying something that's just so horrible that you need to respond.
And you can't take it personal because it's like, who are these people that are actually dragging you? I mean, is
Nobody.
Oprah dragging you?
Nobody.
Is Michelle Obama dragging you?
No.
People that you respect.
It's good advice, but it's like I just went down a rabbit hole last night reading about myself, and I'm
well, I beg Miss Nene Leak's pardon because I am somebody, whether she know it or not. I just want to put that out there.
Like, what were they saying? What was happening?
It was people like to rewatch, old seasons.
Yeah.
So it's like reliving my first season, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's so hateful. And like,
I know
is she going to get better? It's like, is she going to get better? I'm still a human being.
See, that's why I will not. See, listen, I Googled myself and I saw all these things. So I called a company. I called this company and I was like, listen, can y'all get some of this stuff off this thing, Google? And they were like, yes.
Oh,
and it
really?
was going to be like $7,000 a month. I was like, now hold on.
What?
I cannot pay you guys
I thought it was going to be a $7,000 flat fee.
No, honey, a month. And I said, well, why do we need to keep going?
Right.
And they said that they need to monitor it and make sure that it doesn't come back, and they need to push it down Google as far as they can. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to call you guys back next year.
And then Nene started a clearing Google company.
Exactly.
Right. What the That's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's
the
crazy.
stuff that's on there is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Even my phone number and address, like how they get
It's
that,
true.
I don't know.
Do you have fans call you? Because I get fans
I've
that
had
actually
people to
call my phone.
Yeah, I've had people to call my phone.
There's some way they can get our phone number. And what about turn up to your house? Like, I've had people show up to my house.
Oh, so it's going to be hard to show up to my house now. I mean, you can show up, you'll be outside.
I've never been behind gates.
Yeah, you'll be outside, but I don't know that you're going to be
true.
inside.
Like, I can barely get to your houses at this point because it's like you have to go through all the security you
got to go through. But besides that, if somebody showed up to my house, which I did have, my husband and I were living on this one golf course. It was so fucking scary. This guy came up, he put a note in my mailbox. I saw him putting it in and I was freaking out because we live on a golf course and he was golfing.
Yeah.
And so he was in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So he was able to kind of ride around and look at the houses. And he came.
And our house is on TV, so they know what the outside
He found my house
and
put a note in my box. And I was so freaked out. And his note said, could he take me to this restaurant that was in my neighborhood that I frequent, right? Because he says he saw me there and he would like to take me to dinner. And
then he found your address.
It really scared me a lot.
People are nutty out there.
They are.
They're crazy.
People are crazy.
Well, it's like we love our fans, but we never know.
Well, those are not
which
fans.
ones are the crazy. Because it's like it's so, we are, in the words of Candy Burris, we are worldwide.
So it's
like,
you are a crazy fan, honey, when you think you can approach someone's home, or when you even think you can approach as if you kind of know them, because they do feel like they know you because you're in their living room, you know. every week, right? So they have an attachment to you.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're thinking on the other hand that you don't know them.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of like, Cynthia Bailey.
Yeah.
And you're like,
girl,
we know each other.
Listen, straight up. People have hugged me, kissed me. I'm FaceTiming with the family.
God, my husband could not stand that when he got sick. Because he said people would come up to him and hug him so much when he got sick because they wanted to just show him some compassion. And they would be like, I'm so sorry to, hear about your, and it would just drive him insane because first of all, he hated the C word, cancer. So he hated for people to keep approaching him about cancer.
Yeah.
And then this, I get that they wanted to show him some compassion, but he felt like everywhere he went, people were feeling sorry, kind of like, and it kind of like, it bothered him a lot.
Right. Because it's, even though,
because he wanted to still be regular.
But it's also, you're a private person too.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds of conversations you have with your closest friends.
Yeah.
You don't have them with strangers. You don't talk about things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's your cancer? And you like,
yeah. It's almost like my mom dealt with breast cancer. And one of the things that people don't talk about a lot is the mental toll that it takes on you.
Yeah,
like you literally hear that C word and you think you are going to die like the next day.
Yeah,
like
it's
she
bad.
went immediately into a very dark space. She got very depressed, very sad.
It's very hard.
I really had to shut things down on my end and really try to be there for her during that time, just to keep her mental up, to keep her positive. She went very negative, and that was hard. Like when you're sick, or
we're doing that.
Last thing you want to talk about is your illness. You just don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about something happy. What is your favorite? You are, I think, the most when it comes to memes and you call them gifts. Right?
GIFs, GIFs. Oh, they're GIFs.
GIFs always
GIFs. Yeah.
I knew I can't do an episode without saying something wrong. Okay. GIFs.
I don't know if they're GIFs or GIFs.
Okay. The GIFs. Y'all know what we're talking about. GIFs.
Yes. Yeah.
You have, I think, quite a few.
Probably
what is your
most?
Well, that's pretty much what I was getting to. What is your favorite GIF, meme? What is your favorite housewife tagline?
My favorite housewife tagline.
Let's start there first. Yeah.
Probably, I don't keep up with the Joneses.
I am the Joneses. That was a good one. That was what season was that? That was first season.
That was like first season. First or second season. Tagline. Yeah. It was first season.
And did you guys write your taglines or did they give them to you?
Mostly I feel like Andy kind of chose, well, at least he chose mine.
Back then they did. They were very involved with our taglines.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, they were very, are they not involved anymore?
Well, my first one, they gave me, I know how to walk into a room and be seen, which I couldn't stand. I who don't know how to walk into a damn room and be seen? I was like, well, this is a great tagline. I know how to walk into a room and be seen. Who the hell knows? So after that, I was like, I'm going to need, if I make it back to the next season, I'm going to need to be a little more involved in the creative.
Right.
Okay. They would give me like 4 or 5.
What was yours?
They would give me a couple. They always chose the one they liked.
Exactly. What was yours, Crystal?
It's like embarrassing. Hollywood is full of pretenders and I slay them all.
Oh, I don't like it.
That's okay. I didn't either.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And I slay them all.
I literally said that. And by the way, and then when I posted it, I just put like swords.
Right.
Because it was so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's like,
you just had to make it work at the
especially when they pick them. Yeah. So they have me say like 2 or 3, and then the one that they pick is the one that I don't want.
The one you least like.
Yes.
And it's always the last one.
Yes.
And because you're hoping and you're like, and then I realized later on, you could just say, I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
You can actually start. So, but it's always the worst one.
First season, I didn't know I had any rights, or you just don't know. You're just happy to be.
You just happy to be working.
You're like, oh, okay, I'm getting ready to be on a TV show. Just tell me where I got to be. Where do I have to stand? Favorite GIF, whatever the hell it is, or meme. I know there's a lot, child.
It's a lot because I have a lot of memes and I don't like most of them. I'm still looking for my check for those as well.
What you deserve a check.
When I tell you
the way we're allowed to use them so openly, and
the way they change them, edit them, I just like, I don't like all of these. Where's the check?
Right.
Do I have a favorite one? Now I've seen a couple that people have made, and it has made me laugh though. Honestly.
Like what?
Like I don't know. I like when they kind of show the back of my head or one of them. I think I might have been talking to Claudia.
They always show one of you like painting something, like whenever somebody.
They got one of me. I think we were in Anguilla, and I'm turning around. They got it spinning fast, and it's like going and going and going.
The one that is constantly used of Nene, it's like I think you're like filing your nails or something.
Doing something.
Yeah, she's like looking away. She's rolling her eyes. I thought she was like painting a plate or something.
That you should have been a billionaire by now. That one is everywhere.
I don't know, but there's so many. I actually was on my phone one day and I put in my name and I was shocked. I was shocked when I was just rolling and oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, you have a lot.
It's too many.
It's a lot. Do you prefer reality or scripted?
Now question.
I like scripted. You know, I've always liked scripted, by the way. That's where I started in scripted. I like scripted.
Yeah. Do you see that as your future, like just leaning into acting again?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like acting. I never want to just totally be done with it. I do like reality as well because reality, pays.
Yeah.
So I like both.
Okay.
I like both.
Dream role.
A dream role. Oh, God.
Dream actor or actress to work with. Dream director. Dream TV show.
First of all, I don't even watch TV.
I know, you still don't watch TV?
No, I don't watch TV. I don't even know what a remote is. Let me see.
Put a pin in this real quick because I happened to go on Instagram one more time while I was listening. And Dineva is you know what? Dineva is on here with his picture. He went and picked up his board, I don't know what this is called, yard sign maybe, for Dr. Heavenly for Georgia, state representative. Okay, so Dineva is, of course, well, we all are supporting Dr. Heavenly and her run for the state representative. Of course, we would love for her to do her thing with that. I don't know what that looks like, but I want her to win. I don't have any reason why she shouldn't. But this is what I'm bringing up. She doing this for a damn storyline. All right, that's it.
A dream, somebody that would want to a dream role. First of all, I would probably say because I do comedy so well, so I wouldn't want something like that.
I was just going to say, do you want to say more dramatic?
Yeah, I would say more dramatic, more drama filled.
Yeah.
Because I would want them to see me in a way that they haven't. I feel like me doing comedy is easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I could do that.
But, directors say comedy is the hardest part of that.
Really, I feel like it's a natural thing for me. So I feel like I can easily get with it. I can see it being hard for somebody that, don't really get comedy.
Yeah.
And, with comedy, you have to improv and kind of be quick on your feet too. And I can do that.
Yeah.
So I feel cool with that.
We did the Upshaws for Netflix together. And I tell you, everybody, we had a good time. And everybody really loved it.
Yeah, I forgot about the Upshaws. That was actually fun.
That was fun.
But that was comedy. Yeah.
But, they say it's like, with comedy, it's hard. People don't want to connect with like beautiful women who are funny because they don't know how to be funny. Like that's what makes you such a great actor is that you are a beauty and you could be funny and people will take you seriously while they're combined.
Yeah.
I
think people take me serious in comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
She had a comedy tour.
I did. I was out on the road.
How was that? Did you enjoy that?
I really did like that. Honestly, the first time I got on stage, I was very scared. I was very nervous. I remember
I think I maybe was there.
It was in Charlotte.
It was
my first place, Charlotte.
Okay.
And I remember Peter coming.
Oh, speaking of Peter.
And we were sold out. It was at the Comedy Zone.
Yes.
We were sold out. I was so freaking nervous.
Yeah. How have you spoken to Peter lately? Have you spoken to him since all these different things have happened? I get asked this a lot. I know you are very good friends with Peter, so...
Oh, don't try it. I am not friends with Peter like that. Let me be clear, honey.
I'm going to drink my drink.
Peter and I are frenemies.
I know you guys go back and forth.
No, honey, let me just give you the real truth, honey. Peter and I are frenemies, and Cynthia's ex-husband, and we have been frenemies for years, by the way. And so this is nothing
You guys were
new.
definitely frenemies when we were married,
when Cynthia was married to him and I were frenemies.
Are you more in the friend now or the enemies?
I might be a little bit more in the friend zone right now. He texted me the other day, actually.
Yeah.
It's probably like 3 or 4 days ago he texted me, but girl, he'll turn on me in 2 seconds. So it doesn't matter. Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll turn on me. But I have talked to him, and actually he came on my podcast.
Yeah, you told me that.
So, I hate those things are happening.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him on the other side of it.
I feel the same way. I'm glad that he is just taking accountability and just getting it over with so he can come back and live his life.
Yeah. And he did.
Yeah.
Even on my podcast, he spoke about it.
Yeah. I can respect the way he owned that.
Yeah.
And, you know,
you're a totally different woman outside of being Peter's wife. You know, when you was Peter's wife, it was totally a different thing.
Yeah.
Girl, because that Peter was something, girl.
Yeah.
What was she like?
Peter was like, you know, when we first started the show, the husbands were not as involved in the show.
So first season 1, we was introduced to Dwight. And Dwight was introduced as the 7th housewife or the 6th housewife. Peter is the extra housewife. Okay, that the sidekick. What you say? I'm not supporting Dr. Devil. Listen. That's
until Peter came.
When Peter came, they were like, okay, let's go
lit it up with everybody. He was over there fighting with everybody.
Cynthia like?
Well, don't turn this on me. We're talking about Nene.
Talking to Nene, my friend over here, Cynthia.
Well, Cynthia and Peter were. Well, I actually thought Peter was mean. So this is not a secret because I tell him this on my podcast, and I think he already knows. I thought he was mean, and I thought Cynthia was more
He wasn't actually mean. He was just very direct. And there was no he didn't sugarcoat things. He came out very raw on the housewives.
But once I really got into Cynthia and Peter and really was in their household and we double dated and did all that stuff
we spent
together,
a lot of time together.
I really realized that Cynthia was the hard one, not Peter. Yeah. I really realized that Cynthia was actually over there.
She was the problem.
Yeah, she was the one over there beating up Peter.
No.
I was like, girl, you
50 Cent
beat up.
is alive and well. I'm just saying. But for the most part, I do choose peace. But it takes a very strong woman to be with Peter Thomas.
Well, honey,
100%.
when I saw Cynthia gather Peter one day, I walked out in peace. I said, honey, I never have to worry about my friend. I know she done beat Peter up. I ain't got to worry about Peter doing a thing to Cynthia.
Like, poor Peter.
Cynthia had Peter in there in tears, honey. I walked out Cynthia's house at peace. I said, girl, go on, call me tomorrow.
Well, listen, I think, talking about misconceptions, I think that's one of my biggest ones. People think I'm a punk. They take my kindness for weakness. I'm like, look, I choose peace. Be clear. Now, if it ain't gonna be peace, we can talk about some things.
We can go somewhere. Right.
We can go somewhere with it. What you want to do? We can go somewhere with it.
When I saw Peter in that corner, honey, with them red eyes, I said, Cynthia had beat the brakes off of Peter, honey. I remember that was.
Why was Nene doing Cynthia like that? What she said, she asked Peter over there in the corner scared. Gathered him together real quick.
Was this clip going around where they thought that you had hit Peter in the eye after something? It was he had some kind of like his eyes get kind of like red or runny or something.
Yeah.
And it was something happened at bar one, and he ended up, he loves to get on a video and start talking.
Yeah.
And he ain't even looking around and fixing and nothing.
Right.
And he's just on there talking, and people are looking like his eyes red. Cynthia to beat him up, and I looked at the video. I looked at the video, and I was like, okay, so I know it's his. Whatever is happening with his eyes. But I was very okay. I said, Cynthia definitely can handle Peter. I used to be concerned. I was like, is Peter over here killing Cynthia?
Yeah.
Honey, when I got over there and seen Cynthia gather Peter, I was like, okay, cool.
I never punched him in the eye.
No,
just cleared it up.
No, she did not punch him in the eye, but she cleared the room, honey.
Yeah. No, Peter is like yourself, very strong personality,
but he's really not. He does have a side to him though that is actually soft.
Very much so. Yeah. But I will say again, it takes a very strong woman to be with someone like him.
Yeah,
because he will definitely, run the show. Literally. And
maybe he didn't run it with you.
No, it was a true partnership. I will say that.
Because people really thought that. People really thought
that's a huge
they really thought that Peter was over there running Cynthia, just running all over. I was
like, people will feel sorry for me. They're like, why are you with him? Oh my God. Like, they would send me like prayer oil and stuff. I was like, I was like, he's not that bad, you guys. Like, I don't know if we're truly compatible at this point, but he actually.
Now, did y'all have that type of thought about Peter? I never thought that he was like mean. I don't know. I think I kind of understood. I don't know. I understood his demeanor in a sense. I think for me, I don't know. He was Jamaican, but so I didn't necessarily think he was mean to Cynthia. But I did think he was not in her league. I did think he was selling her a dream, and I did think maybe he was too broke for her. I did think those things. I didn't think that he was mean to her though.
But it's not as bad as
it's not. But I always give old Peter Thomas flowers, because he is truly the reason I even moved to Atlanta in the first place.
Yes,
and he was very polarizing on the show, without question.
And I'm sure Greg thanks him because he made sure that all the men got a check.
Oh, absolutely,
some kind of check.
Absolutely,
yeah, because they were literally. They weren't being paid.
Remember, Peter was the one to make sure the guys went to watch What Happens Live for the first time. They couldn't do nothing with Peter on the show. Peter was doing the most.
Wait, did the men? You guys actually got paid? The guys got paid?
They didn't get like salary, but they got paid to like come to the reunion and stuff.
And they couldn't wait to get there.
And they did take trips. They took the international.
And they would come on the trip.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite trip for Housewives?
I always tell everybody that we had the best time in Anguilla.
Anguilla?
Yeah.
Why did I think you would? I thought you were going to say South Africa because we had a good time.
We did have a good time in South Africa.
Those are my two favorite ones, Anguilla and South Africa.
You know what? Anguilla was good. You guys renewed your vows.
Yeah, we did.
We lived in these beautiful villas, and all of us had a man.
Yeah.
Even Kenya.
We did. Walter.
Yeah, Walter.
That's
Remember?
right.
We had that's when Kenya did the twirl.
Gone with the Wind Fabulous.
Gone with the Wind Fabulous thing. We had a good time. We had a good time over there.
Did.
And we did have a good time in South Africa too.
We did.
Yeah.
There's so much nostalgia of like the old housewives. What do you think about the housewife babies that are going around? Because now you're having a rebirth. We then lived through the whole grown Nene era of housewives, and now we get to see you as a little reading baby.
A little baby.
Just reading everybody together. I posted a couple of our clips where it was giving you the Frank
crazy. Literally the best thing I've ever seen. People don't know what we're referring to. I don't know the name of the creator, but he's been taking clips of particular Atlanta and via AI babyfying you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have never seen more entertaining television ever. It's so good. You guys look so cute.
I think he's a guy on TikTok. I'm not sure.
It's brilliant.
Brilliant.
It's really.
Do you love them?
I think they're okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us
you don't love them. We should be getting a check.
We should be getting a check.
I see.
It's like too many of them floating around.
Yeah.
At first, when it was a couple, it was okay.
No,
now they're doing
all over the place.
Now they're doing every scene.
How do we? I would like to know how to do it. Like, is that something? Is there like an app we can go on? Like, where did this come from?
It's definitely AI.
It's AI. Rob
yeah. It's AI.
He wanted to do us here.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, he could do you guys. That'll be cute.
Yeah.
Oh, how I love summer. Something about it just makes you feel your best. So what better time to create healthy meal habits that last?
Instantly book an appointment.
With
pushing.
Yeah.
But no, when you bring that up, I get that. Actually, my husband he's very into AI, but it's like,
girl, then with these damn commercials, honey, they better do something better for that.
how to monetize, because people are stealing content.
They are.
When they change it,
and I think
it becomes new content.
It's like we have no control over our likeness.
Yeah,
we really don't.
That part. Because your likeness is everywhere. I mean, I see so many different videos of myself. They have changed them 100 ways. I mean, it's great.
Do you feel like there will be a movement, or
it should be?
Yeah,
I'm pushing for the movement.
Yeah, I want to be a part of the movement.
Okay, so I think that's a valid question. We was just talking about that because we're talking about trademarking and everything like that. And listen, this brings up a topic that's going on Teen Mom, right? Because we are talking, so like today, I think that contracts for these people could be made different, but why should they? Why should the contracts for reality TV be changed in a way that gives a person control over their likeness? The the control you have is to do it or not. It's listed in the contract that you sign that you don't have control over your likeness. Like, I don't understand the gripe. I mean, I get it. Maybe it is frustrating. I mean, it's probably easy for me to say, right? Because nobody's reposting my things that I worked hard on and getting paid for it, and I'm not. So I guess, it feels like my opinion might be screwed that way or skewed that way. But I just am a realist in saying that it's what you signed up for. Everything else outside of the housewives, is in your control. It's like you crying over spilled milk. You can't unspill the milk. You're not gonna change that. It's done. I mean, get with the program. Find you somebody to go out and repurpose your own stuff so you can be getting paid off of the stuff you already did. Now, that's what I would do. I don't know, that conversation that they're about to get into is going to annoy me because it's nothing you can do about that. Oh, and the point is, reason why I brought up Teen Mom. You see how I be forgetting, but the point is this: when they did that, there was nobody ahead of them. It was not what it is today. It's the same thing with Teen Mom. When Teen Mom first came on, this was 16 years ago. And reason why this is fresh is because I just watched the past season, because all the kids of the parents who are still on there, they turned 16 this year. So that's kind of the big thing. We watching them celebrate their kids' 16th birthdays. And Tyler and Caitlyn was the couple that gave their daughter up for adoption. And way back then, right, they was the first team to do that. It was unthought of, heard of, whatever. It was on TV, and their situations were dire. Like, to go back into that space of when they was talking about it and what was going on, their parents were on jail. One was in jail on drugs. It was they had a rough situation, okay? And so again, they decided to do adoption. They were under the impression that they had signed papers for a open adoption, which I believe the open adoption was supposed to give them access to their daughter for birthdays, to be able to give her gifts, to have interaction with her, right? So the adoption goes down. We meet the adoptive parents. Like, all of this is on Teen Mom and documented on this show. And Teen Mom becomes a phenomenon, right? Nobody knows this. Hindsight is 2020. That's what they mean by that. So nobody knows that 16 years later, Teen Mom would still be on the air. With that being said, throughout these 16 years, Tyler and Caitlyn have gone through a lot with the adoptive parents. They've had more children. I think they have 3 other children. They have those children, right? And they've tried to keep in contact with their oldest daughter. At some point, the adoptive mom or parents together, they decided that they didn't want Caitlyn and Tyler to contact them, that they wanted them to just kind of back off. I believe a lot of the reasoning had to do with the show's success and the fans. Basically what they're talking about the comments and stuff like that. And listen, I think that was a little bit reasonable in a sense, because while they are the adoptive parents and you are the natural parents, you did give the daughter up for adoption, and I think that gives them the right to decide if they want to be a part of this or not. And they decided that they don't. I think that's well within their rights. Caitlyn is having a hard time with this at this point because she is trying to reconcile, like, I thought we had an open adoption. I think she didn't realize that the open adoption also still meant that they had to give permission for that to happen. And so that they didn't have to. And so Caitlin is having a hard time understanding that. And I mean, I feel bad for this girl because she was 16 when she made that decision. And the reality was the people around her that was advising her, they did not have her best interest. She was not being guided in a loving way. And so she made that decision out of survival. And because that was the only way, she didn't know no other way. She couldn't see another way. Had no idea that MTV would pay the rest of her bills, for the next 16 years. Had she known that, she would have kept her baby. And that's what she's dealing with today. But nobody wants to be 1000% honest with her and give it to her like that, because it does sound cruel for somebody to turn and tell her, like, hey, you just gonna have to deal with this. You're gonna have to eat this up, because you're not gonna be able to go back, and you can't undo it. It's done. And she's beating herself up about a mistake that she feels she made, and it's not, because you didn't have this information. You made the best decision with the information you had. Why would you beat yourself up about that? Why is anybody around you allowing you to do that? You see, but this, and so it's different. The circumstances are different, but the wants are the same, right? The entitlement to what you feel like you should have, that's the same. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, at some point, you just have to come to grips with the reality of what it is. You're not going to get paid off of anything circulating from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Please stop with the conversation. Move on, or get your own content creator and repurpose your own content. That's what I would do. I would beat the monkey at his game. You say, let them get their money. Let's hope for sponsors over there. Now, I do want them to get their money, but they must don't want to give YouTube no money, because is that why? Well, or is that the extra? I don't know why they sitting up doing their own commercials, because we ain't had one ad come through on this. So I don't know, but they can get your coin, girl. Get your coin. I ain't mad at them. They can make it a little more enthusiastic, though. He said, I agree with you, but I do think they should get paid for their likeness still being used. I think they should be entitled to something. I think it would be similar to what they do with sitcoms. But I do think so yeah, I think that's a network issue. It feels like, to me, it seems like you're upset about the content creator being able to make the money off of that. I think they should be able to make money off of the way the network continues to make money off of them. That's who I think they should be concerned about. For me, and it go back to even with these YouTube channels. Like, why do you need to come for the little person's money? If they're like that content creator, I mean, it's a lot of things going around, but they probably not making like a ton of. They're not making so much money that you need to put a stop to it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel about them coming over to YouTube. There was a time, just like the actresses or Hollywood, there was a time when nobody respected them as real actors or actresses when they wanted to come and do, get into sitcoms and acting and do those other things. And it's the same way. They felt the reality stars are the ones that felt like bloggers didn't have real jobs and they didn't have anything to do. And in Nene's words, they were nobody. And then here you come over to the space to come and get the money that the nobody's over here collecting. Now, where they do that at? And all I'm saying is, why don't you go get the money out the big head, out the big bank? What they say, not big bank take little bank take big bank. Go over there so that's what Bethany's reality reckoning, that's what her thing was for. And that goes back to Nene. Nene was going through a lot. and she reacted in a harsh way, and she let her emotions take the best of her, because that is what they should have been doing. They should have been focused on getting some type of union, or some type of regulation for other reality stars, as opposed to Nene focusing on a lawsuit that surrounds discrimination. Because again, you have contracts that have certain language that already protects them from anything like that, especially if you're not going to have something that is blatant, right? Like blatant, not your perception, not something you think, but it's blatant that, like, because it is recorded and came right out their mouth that you didn't get something because you are black, or you know what I mean, like that. But general people are smart. People in corporate are smart. They're not going to do that.
Two.
Siri, ain't nobody talking to you. But yeah, so that just kind of, it gets under my skin sometimes when I have to hear some of these people have some of the same conversations, because it just remind me what she just said. She don't have time for ignorance. Like, who are you talking to? Because at some point the conversation got to change, and we're not gonna keep talking about a problem if we don't start talking about solution. Like, I'm not that person. I can't continue to talk about a problem and only the problem over and over and over. If I'm going to talk about a problem, then I'm going to be focusing on how to make that problem not a problem. So that's where. So she should have, but her and Bethany then fell out for whatever reason. Nene does have a stigma of falling out with people. That's why we don't see her and Sierra with their show. Because remember, that's who was supposed to be with her before the Nene Leakes show. But something happened with them, and again, I'm not necessarily saying that it has to be Nene's fault. I'm just saying it's unfortunate that she seems to always be wrapped up in these situations where she's falling out. Her partnerships are falling apart. Um, and yeah, she should have stuck, because Bethany is smart that way, in that corporate way, in which she knew that you're not going to attack a system in which they are going to protect themselves. They've already protect themselves. That's the reason why you have a contract. And so what you're going to have to do is find the holes. And the holes are that okay, these reality shows are successful. You put them out with the knowledge that they will be successful. Like we go back to the Below Deck and some of them other ones. Like, they know that most of the stuff they put out there, people are going to watch it. So just like the sitcom, not everything is going to get the 100 episodes, but I think that there should be that, what, they got an actors guild for the actors. The reality stars should have some type of union in which they have regulations about the work that they do. And she should have stayed with Bethany to get that handled and done. I don't know where they are in it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's actually, like, if it's active, but I believe that there had been some changes made. I can't say that they actually came to any type of settlement, but I'm interested to know. So I'm going to end up trying to find out how it all worked out. Clearly it didn't end with anybody getting residuals, because I don't think Nene would still be kind of talking about it that way. But I do think that they should work and that's what's funny to me, is that the willingness to still go work with NBC, and they are the ones taking money out your pocket. Real Housewives, all the Housewives franchises is sitting up on Peacock right now to be watched over and over and over, right after the other. And you don't get a dime for them. And yet you are willing to go sign another contract and not even negotiate your own residuals. Like, nobody can blame you for not protecting you. Because now, and see, that's the other thing that Nene was mad about with Kim having that show. She felt like none of her stuff was getting picked up. Candy had those the the ski trip, her wedding show. It was something else. The one thing about the restaurant, like she had a couple specials, spin-offs, whatever they want to call them. And then what we found out is Portia coming in on this season 16, she signed that in her contract to have a deal to do other things and other projects. Nene, hello? Put down the mustard and catch up. That's what you have to do. You have to negotiate that with these people. But sitting up, getting mad at, somebody who is just trying to make a few dollars because they spend their time watching the TV show that you don't even watch. Yeah, see, that's the thing that kind of get under my skin with Nene. Is that she said, she talking about she don't like ignorance. That is ignorant. Because you haven't thought about the full picture. You're only thinking about the part that affects you. And you're not even taking it out on the right person who can make you whole. The people who can make you whole are the people who got your likeness. Silly. Girl. Ain't nobody knew that right. I mean, not even us watching it. Not even us watching it. Like, we watched it and didn't know. I had no idea Teen Mom would be on 16 years from the day I sat down and watched them people on my screen.
I would like to pay on my house and get several other ones, honey.
Because it really is majority reality star that it happens to.
It does.
Because like you said, you're in their living room every day. So they feel like they know you. They get to repeat. Like, there's no show like Housewives that you can rewatch over and over again. And you can watch your second season. You can watch season 13. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. In any episode, unlike any other show, you don't pop into shows like that. Yeah. And yes, and it's weird that residuals don't exist. But again, like,
okay, now see, this is the part that's where you need somebody, a mediator or somebody, because that's not true. Like, it's not like they got housewives sitting up on Tubi. The shows that's sitting over there on Tubi, because you don't even have to pay for Tubi. If you pay for an app to be able to watch something, you're paying into something, and that's being paid out to somebody else. That's the reason why Tyler Perry went and took his stuff over there to BET Plus. That's the reason why BET Plus can't get my $5.99, because they got plenty they can put on BET. And as long as I got access to BET, that station will sit and it will have nothing on it. But you will not get my $5.99 for no BET Plus. Because you can put that garbage on the station we already paying for. I don't mean to call the shows garbage. I don't know if they are or not. I don't watch nothing over there because I'm not paying $5.99 to do it. But that's my point, so that, like, you're making statements about, and you're comparing this show to things, and it's no comparison, because there are actors that literally did get screwed over in shows that people do have access to, and they can go and watch, and ain't nobody getting paid.
All these new iterations of just that original content of your likeness are being reused, and other people are making money.
Yeah, over and over again. And other people are making money. I'll be looking for my check.
AI.
And let's just go here. You cannot, like, the only way you can reuse that content from Housewives is to make it new. You can't play the old clip. You can't just run a clip on any platform, because NBC Bravo TV has it copyrighted. They will give you a copyright strike. So they do treat those shows like every other show they ever produced, made, or whatever it's called. That's why you need to go take it up with them. And Nene, instead of you being, eager to get back on them shows, you better figure out a contract for yourself, and a contract that's like what Juicy was talking about, that values your worth. If you want a show, and if Candy has been able to negotiate a production deal into her contract, and so did Portia, you can too. You say, because if we knew, Little Women would still be on. Ain't that it? Ain't that it? Let's get
also check in the mailbox as well.
TikTok guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. So where do you see yourself in 20 years?
Oh, girl, I don't know. I hope I'm somewhere sitting and being at peace, honey, in 20 years. Oh, gosh.
Will you still be in Atlanta?
I will. Like, Atlanta's where my children are, so I will always have a home in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Now, I can have a vacation home somewhere else, but I feel like Atlanta, my kids are there.
Yeah,
so I
your
will.
Home base.
Yeah.
Where do you love to travel to? Where are your favorite spots?
Anywhere.
Dubai. You like Dubai?
I do like Dubai. Yeah, I like Dubai. I actually like London.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fans in London.
We
I'm
do.
sure you get recognized like crazy.
Yeah,
over there.
it's like being over here to me.
Yeah.
Like they're like, hey, Nene. It's like, okay, hey.
How do you like having your own talk show, the Nene Leakes show? And where do you see that going, or where do you want it to go?
Where do I see the Nene Leakes show going? I kind of was thrown into the Nene Leakes show, by accident. It wasn't something that I planned, right? I was doing me and my homegirl, and our schedules weren't lining up. And I just walked in one day, and the camera crew was there, and they were like, we're going to do the Nene Leakes show and just sit here and just start talking. And I just kind of fell into the Nene Leakes show. It's done very well. I hope for it to go as far as it can possibly go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
whatever that is.
I love watching the two of you guys on it.
A lot of people did.
I fully watched it like I actually beamed it on my big screen. You guys obviously have incredible chemistry, but I think it's really nice to see that you guys are actual friends.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is unique about Housewives, because some feel like not real.
Yeah.
Or more put on, or you can see why people would never like hang out in real life, but you guys clearly have like a sisterhood and a friendship. No. Going way back to the history. You guys just talking about
even through our ups and downs. Trust me, I used to get so aggravated because when Nene and I weren't friends, everywhere I went, can you and Nene just make up? They were with all the friendships that I had on that show on Housewives. My relationship with Nene was the one. Yeah, was the friendship, the fans.
The fans.
Like they loved our dynamic.
Yeah,
and we were so opposite, although we had things in common. And one of the reasons why I was excited for Nene to come on here, like a lot of people have this perception of who they think she is, but I really got to know Nene. Nene's like quiet, actually, to be honest. Like, she's does a lot of her own stuff. She doesn't really need a lot of people around her. You're not really a diva, really. You're not hard to work with. You are a worker bee, or you are a workaholic.
Yeah.
So many things we actually were able to connect on that people never realized. And this is the first situation for me where I was actually thrown into a friendship. And I shared this with you on your show.
Yeah.
I've had friends for 20, 30 years. And I have to say, as crazy as it is how we met, like for me, I felt like we had good chemistry. There was something about us together.
I like to tell
like
people,
with you and I,
we had sisterhood.
Yeah.
So we had sister vibes.
Even when we're up and down, it just was still.
Yeah. When Cynthia and I weren't talking, I was really honestly hurt by it. I was really hurt. I was like, oh my God, Cynthia's the sister that I never had. So I was down, you know what I mean? I was like, oh my God. But
it was a hard time
having real friendships on those shows, your friendship get tested a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's very hard to walk in there as friends and walk out, friends.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Right.
I think everybody who had a real friendship has been tested.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's just designed to. I was just thinking when you said like how hard is you guys weren't talking, like if you weren't on the show, whatever happened probably would have never happened. you know, that
if we weren't on the show.
Correct.
Yeah. And I always say all the girls on the show, we all would be best friends. I mean, we probably all would hang out if we weren't working together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's part of the job.
It's a part of the job.
You ask questions that you wouldn't normally ask, and you respond in ways you wouldn't normally respond.
And then you have other people chiming in.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot.
And, you know, when you do have conflict in real life, you just give it a beat and you don't have to see that person on the show. You got to go film with them the next day. It's like, okay. So you don't have a lot of time to process things, to think about things.
It's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot.
It is.
No, it's a lot.
This is such a full circle moment. Like, I love that we are in such a respectful place. I was so excited to come and support you on the Nene Leakes show.
And we were happy to have you.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad that I think I was one of the top watched one.
Well, honey, don't tell Peter, honey.
Don't upset Peter.
Did Peter's come out yet?
Not yet, honey. Well, trust
I don't
me,
think it's going to do better than mine.
Maybe he was. Yeah, he's such a.
Well, okay. Well, I'm not sure how his went, but I will say what I love about ours is it wasn't messy.
No.
It was very real.
Because it's a conversation. That's what we like. Overall.
It was pretty much like this. Like, we just talked and we just loved on each other, and we just kind of went down memory lane because no matter what, like, we have, like, I couldn't forget about my time with you if I tried. Like, I was literally thrown in a whole new career. Right. And, you know, I always say this, like, I felt in so many ways protected that they gave you because, well, my mind was like, well, I'm my friend, she gonna go against me. So that didn't work out a little later on down the line, but I did feel like I was a little bit under your wing, and there was some protection because you were the star, you were very strong, and I was still trying to figure it out. So
every time we speak about you and her experience, you speak so highly of you.
Thank you. I appreciate my flowers.
Well, you know what?
Really
I think we don't. Well, we don't do
on and off camera.
We don't do this enough. People can sit on a couch and watch the show all they want to and say what they would have did and how they would have did it. I don't think either one of us could have done it any differently. It just had to play out this way.
It just had to play out the way that it played out. We couldn't have changed anything. We honestly could not.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about wishing you could change a moment?
Biggest regret?
The only moments that I kind of wished I could change on the show is moments with my oldest son and me and Greg, not talking about our divorce so much. I kind of, because we got back together. So I kind of hated that we shared some stuff.
Oh, too much.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
But Greg was always respectful.
Always.
Like, he just got it. He just was like, you know, I'm not going to go but so far with my wife. I'm not going to take my wife all the way over here on these cameras. So he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Can I just say something? And this is a total compliment. You are totally regular.
I am regular.
You really are.
I told you.
Yeah, I'm really regular.
You really are. And
you said I got off the plane and came in orange flip-flop.
And I had already told them, like, I didn't even tell them you were coming because I wanted to surprise them. And I was like, is she really coming? And I was so excited. I was like, I called you. I was like, Crystal, I think Nene may come by. I was like, but don't get your hopes up because she has a big event that we all are going to tonight.
And I don't have a suitcase.
And she's just coming in. She's flying right in. But knowing you, I should have known that as much, even with her, literally this woman's suitcase is like somewhere floating in Delta World right now.
Girl.
We have a huge event that we're going to tonight, and she still showed up.
Yeah,
and you're here, relaxed.
Yes, girl, no hairspray, nothing.
Just
like,
over
I'm
here.
just here. So excuse me, y'all, when you start looking at this video. I am just here. I don't have a luggage, nothing. And you know, I've been told so long, if you carry a carry-on, which I did, that you should put a look inside an outfit in your carry-on.
Yeah, they always say that's true.
I have a blanket, socks, candles,
so now you're
speakers
comfy.
I can listen to music, snacks. That's what's in my carry-on. So I've never did a look in there. I don't have anything.
I used to. And then you're like, oh, it's such overkill.
Yeah.
And then the day you need it.
The day that luggage don't
that's
show up.
That's a bad thing when that luggage don't show up.
Girl, I wanted to call the guy that checked my bag in. I was like, I wish I knew his number. I'd be like, what happened to my bag? I was here in
hopefully
time.
It's on its way.
Yeah. It wasn't even late being checked in. So I'm like, why didn't it get on the plane? And it said on my app that it was at the plane. So I'm thinking, did somebody take it from the plane?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's weird.
Yeah,
you feel secure in that moment.
Yeah. I was like,
before we let you go, what was your favorite season that you were on Real Housewives of Atlanta? And remind me, I'll help you figure out who was on that cast. What do you think was the best season of Real Housewives of Atlanta that you were on?
It was
that you felt like we were really killing it?
Might have been 6.
And I think I was on most of them with you.
Yeah,
so
I think it was
I'll
6.
be in this group. Season 6. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I think it was season 6.
That was the season that
we were
Portia
really
and Kenya
killing
came
it, like
on.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
like,
I think that was the season
really,
Portia and Kenya came on.
Yeah, we were really going there.
And Phaedra and I came on right before that together.
Yeah, but
maybe a couple of years before.
3,
we came on season 3. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Phaedra and I came on season 3.
And then so Kenya came on 5?
5 or 6. I can't remember.
Yeah, we were really killing it then.
Yeah.
Your show was enormous.
Yeah, it was.
It was enormous.
It really was.
It was just not just like cable, but just
everybody was watching.
Everybody was watching. You know, we came on in a time when reality, all these other shows that you see now were not
in existence.
Yeah, they were not in existence. So,
but also it wasn't all glammed up like you guys got dressed up for parties, but like normal.
No,
like,
we were very regular.
Yeah, but I think that's what made it great.
And I think that's what made viewers be able to relate. Yes. I feel like I came on the underdog, but I left the big dog.
You really did.
The underdog.
You really did.
But baby left out the big dog. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this type of show. You can go on. You can't go on and try to figure it out. Like you don't know if you're going to, like, the very one you think is not going to be the one will be the one to blow up.
Be the one.
The very person you think you're going to be friends with will be the first one you fall out with.
Exactly.
Like
it doesn't work that way. Yeah. It's very tricky. So what do you got? Well, why am I asking the question? But I got to ask
the question.
I was like, so what do you guys think about now? Well, you know, Cynthia, because you're on now.
Yeah.
They feel totally different than how we feel, don't you think?
Well, I think they've had a chance to study us.
Yeah.
You know, because this is like what season?
Yeah, so 16? They come on already.
They had 16
ready.
years to study us. You know, we were coming on, and I was just saying this on somebody else's show. We literally at that point we would be all up in TJ Maxx, still trying to pull it together. You know what I'm saying? And these girls are coming on now with full glam squads.
Neiman Marcus down,
all of that stuff.
Yeah, they're ready.
You know, very, very different. And I think one of the things that people appreciated about us, it was new, and we were still figuring it out. Like we were just. We knew we were fabulous, but we were still coming into our own. And you guys got to see the process. You got to see our children.
Yeah.
You got to see, you know, where they are now. Like, you know, Noelle is 25. She was 8 years old when she came on the show.
Yeah, same.
All of those things.
My baby was in the 3rd grade.
Remember your little first dog Player when you got Player? You were teaching him
still have
potty training Player. Player still around?
Yes.
How old is Player now?
17.
Wow.
Oh my God. I didn't know.
So that means he's like 80.
Yeah.
Wow. And then I had my little dog, Bailey, that was remember Bailey went to Kenya's dog, Velvet's funeral and acted a fool over there. I mean, it's just it's like you honestly forget.
Yeah.
But one of the things I will say about this show, it really honestly changed all of our lives.
It did. I tell people, you know, it's a bittersweet, but the platform it takes you so many places. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
But I don't think the platform is what it was then. It's not the same now.
What do you think it's like now? What is
I don't feel like these girls are stars or, you know, or like household names.
They're not.
We know them, but we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be like, oh, hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like we were at a time.
Yes, but there's so many now. When you guys were there was a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
and we could make a big footprint.
Yeah.
Now.
And you know what? I forget this about Atlanta. You know, we kept a lot of our same cast for a long time. Like once we had that good 6 or 7, whichever it was.
Yeah. We kept, and that was it.
We kept a lot of us, and that's why people got invested in us.
Yeah, that's right. We stuck around.
Because we stuck around. It wasn't we weren't super interchangeable. You couldn't find another Nene or another Cynthia, another Kenya, another Portia, even another any of us. Like we all had our own thing. Phaedra, we were all so different.
Yeah. And it worked.
It really did.
It worked.
Yeah. I always tell Cynthia, it's like your show, you guys were all stars.
Yeah.
Like everyone.
We put the numbers up.
We did.
We really put the numbers up.
We really did.
You guys are an amazing show. And you guys are so amazing now.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we?
So Cynthia,
go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Don't try to take over the show, Nene.
No,
I'm so excited.
This is not the Nene Lee show.
I was just asking you because of the Housewives, and I know you've shown up in the blog with your new friend.
Yes, Prince.
So is he going to be on the show with you?
Well, we just shot the reunion.
Okay.
I know you.
Did they bring the men?
They brought the men, the housewife men. Some of the men showed up. I don't know how much I can say. Most of the men showed up. I am a friend to the show, so I was not obligated to bring my boyfriend with me.
That's right.
You know that we are not really on social media, anything like that together, but we are publicly outside and it's publicly known.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, as the creator of the friend contract, the friend role has evolved over the years.
Yeah, I like the friend role.
I had, would you ever, if you ever, first of all, would you ever want to ever see yourself coming back to Housewives? And would you be even open to being a friend of the show?
I felt like I was a friend one season.
You was?
Yeah, I remember the season where we went to.
I feel like
I want to say Phaedra, Kim Fields in Jamaica. We were in Jamaica.
You were not a friend. You were.
I was a friend.
Holding a peach in all of the promos. Nene, you were never a friend of the damn show.
I thought I was a friend one time.
Well, you thought wrong.
Okay.
You were never a friend.
Honest to God, listen, let me see.
You were never a friend.
I'm not mad at the friend role.
Okay.
I just think if I just, just answering your question, if I were to ever step back on that platform and would I be a friend, I really kind of feel like, I don't know, that I would be a friend.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would
have to look at it kind of like, I like the friend role. I like the capacity. I don't have a problem with it at all. But I just would think, Nene, season 1, the first housewife, and I'm a friend.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. This is where it works for me, for someone that came on season 3. I enjoy that I don't have to bring my family on the show.
Okay.
I enjoy that I don't have to bring my man on the show.
I love that.
I literally just get to show up.
I love that idea.
The network was pretty gracious about working around my schedule. I was able to still do other shows.
Yeah, I love that.
TV projects.
And you're not as
movies.
committed to hell.
I'm not. Yeah. It's a lot of work being a full-time housewife.
It is a lot of work.
After doing it, we both did it for over a decade.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I could never really do a bunch of other things. When I was filming as a housewife, my whole brain
was housewife.
Everything was housewives. And we talked about this, Crystal. Like even when I would come home, I was never present because I was always thinking about what's going to happen the next day. What do we shoot next day? What am I going to wear?
Me too.
All of that stuff.
Me too.
I haven't been present in a long time with my family.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've been really trying to make up for lost time with is actually spending real time with Noelle because we were filming since she was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I was there. My body was there. When I tell you spiritually and mentally, I was not there. I just was not there. I couldn't figure out how to do both at the same time.
It's a lot.
So it's been great for me to just come in, to just kind of stay connected to the show, the cast. I mean, I feel like when you work this hard and give so much to a show, it's nice to still be able to, be a part of the platform in some way and still leverage it in some way because our fans, they still love the OGs.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's nice to throw us in there. So for me, it's not an ego thing. It's not like, I think back in the day, people looked at a friend as kind of less than.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
no,
as long as we've been on the show, girl, they literally treat me like I'm a housewife.
Yeah, I don't see it as a less than role at all.
Yeah, the cast literally, they hate when they even say certain things we're doing. I'm like, I'm just a friend. They're like, well, you stop saying you're a friend. You're Cynthia Bailey. You're not a friend. And I think you would get that same respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't see it that way. Yeah. I think the friend role is great.
Yeah.
But I know I think your initial thing is what I'm reading, which I get is I think if you're, to have the opportunity again, they would just ask you as a full time.
Yeah. I would just have to wrap my head around that.
What that looks like.
Yeah. I think that would end up being your choice if you have other things going on because like I said, it feels like your goal is having your own show right now.
Yeah.
And if that's where you're focused, you can still jump in.
I enjoy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I enjoy doing my show. It's kind of on my own time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you guys do this when your schedules line up.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's kind of when I want to do it. And my family didn't have to come on. I don't have to talk about my personal life.
Yeah.
So
it's a win-win.
Yeah. It is.
I want to ask you this before you leave since you brought up Prince.
Oh, Prince.
Yeah, that's my man's name.
Okay.
So do you see yourself getting married again? And are you, I know your man is in the other room right now. Hi, Yanni.
How long are you in Yanni?
Are you in love? Do you see yourself getting married again? Are you guys best friends? Like what is your love like? What did you feel like? How was it dating before you got into a serious relationship? Let's talk about that for 2 minutes.
So I
How many years ago now?
Girl, almost 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just let the universe let it happen. That's crazy though, 20 years to like look in the mirror and say that. Like,
yeah, like you're single. Like, how does this work? Like, because you don't, after 20 years, like, you don't even know what dating looks like.
How old were you when you got married?
28, 29.
And you guys were married for how long?
Forever. 25, almost 25 years. 23, I think it was. 23 and some change.
We are both in age gap relationships.
Yeah. He was older than me. I was
older?
How much older was
almost 13 years.
Okay. Rob's 20 years older than me.
Okay, he's much older.
And my guy is 18 years younger.
18 years younger.
Oh, I love that he's 18 years young. I live for that. I just kind of went with the flow. And I never dated an African. I never dated anybody other than an American guy. So it just worked. And so, no, did you ask? Well, as far as being married.
Would you get married again?
I love love. And I loved marriage because I was married for a very long time. But
you're a wife.
Yeah, I'm very much a wife and not a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think because I've gone out with him for so long, I just kind of accept like it doesn't really matter anymore if I do or if I don't. I do understand the whole partner for life thing. I get it. I get it. But it's not my first choice.
Right.
Because I've been a wife for so long.
Yeah.
But I do understand it. And I don't remember the other part of your question. I just remember about marriage.
I don't remember it either.
Okay.
But I love what you just said about the whole wife thing. I think if you're with someone, I think we still, whether we're a wife or not, we still want to be treated like a wife and have wife respect.
Right. Of course, you want wife
and
respect.
then it's like we don't need the officialness of like,
any of that.
I'm actually married. I think I haven't completely ruled out getting married again, but it's not a deal breaker. I know if I ever did, it would be. I don't think I would have a wedding. I think I would.
Yeah, I think the wedding is a whole lot right now. I think that's a lot. Yeah.
I think as you get older, it's like I think it changes like your perspective of that. You know, we all got married so young, right? I got married when I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
So like you do.
And how long have you and Rob been together?
This past year we've been together 22 years.
Yeah.
Married almost 17 years.
Yeah.
Long time.
Long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's crazy, right? Yeah. I'm only 42.
But for me, the one thing I would say about a relationship is what this has taught me. It has taught me to, I wouldn't want to be public. Like I wouldn't, look, I'm never going to be a secret, right? I'm not, I just don't want to be public, but I'm not a secret. You get what I mean?
That's exactly the space that I'm in with
I'm happy to go everywhere, be everywhere, do everything.
In real
I don't want to
life.
be a secret, but I don't want to be public. I would never, ever like be as public as we have been.
Absolutely.
Like I'm when I say public, I mean in like social media wise. Yeah. Because I just think it didn't the doors that it opened were not.
Well, you give permission to get to comment, and people feel like you're giving them access.
Yeah, you are giving
to
access.
Information and photos and things that you don't have to give them access to.
Right.
And once you give them access, then you can't be mad at them for putting saying what they got to say about how they feel about y'all's little happy picture y'all took.
And the women are just like,
Oh yeah. And then that's another thing.
You're just welcoming all that.
And the women are like, oh, okay. Well,
I'm telling you,
slide in his DMs and see, he's so great.
Oh, they slide in his DMs for sure.
A man that has a woman suddenly looks more interesting to some women, which is crazy. It's like, oh, well, that if he's taken, that means he's better.
Oh, I always say, I don't know if I can say it, and I always
say it.
That you up their pussy game,
Absolutely.
For sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
He dates Nene Leakes. If I could say that to him, he'd be like, oh, Nene Leakes, like don't act like this ain't no prize. Now, you are dating Nene Leakes. I just don't throw it in your face like that. But, So naturally, people are going to say hi.
Absolutely.
Even if they thought he was an attractive man, he's even more attractive.
Yeah.
Now that he's tied to this person.
Yeah.
So they don't have a problem, you're married to an executive. I'm sure the women in the building don't mind saying hello.
I'm sure they do. I mean, if they do, I feel...
He's over at Disney.
Let me tell you something. If Rob gets a hello, I'm like, honey, go, like, high five. Like, he's such a little nerd.
You're like,
I think it's so sweet if, like, a girl hits on him or something like that.
Oh,
like,
he's an executive
he gets,
at Disney.
Shy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rob, I don't know. I feel like we'll be together forever. It feels like we're going to be in rocking chairs, you know? I'm kind of, it's so funny. I did this, like, cooking live thing with him last night, and all the women were like, on the live, like, you're so mean to him, like, talk. And I'm like, and so when you were talking about you and Peter, I was laughing inside. I'm like, oh, it always seems one way, and then behind closed doors,
it's totally something.
It's totally different.
It's totally different. Yeah. I was out with my guy the other night, and he was saying to his friends, "Oh, people would never think, you know, such and such about Nene." I said, if they only knew, really in my head, like, if they only really knew that I'm way chill, and you know, he's a lot more up here than I am. Like, personality wise.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He's a lot. And he can hear you say, you're a lot.
He's
a lot.
Well, he's your a lot. So
yeah, he's
obviously it's been 4 years.
It's been almost October, I think it'll be 4 years. Yeah.
That's solid.
We usually end the show with a humble brag. And how that works is you say something in your life that has humbled or that is humbling you. And then it's like a brag, like little flex, like, but you are Nene Leaks, whatever.
Yeah.
You do one first, and then I'll do mine, and then Nene can do last so she can get an example.
My humble brag today is I am very honored that you are here.
Oh, thank you.
You are Nene Leaks.
Oh, thank you. I'm just so regular. I really appreciate I appreciate these flowers.
Yes. See,
I
give me your flowers.
I'm so regular.
At the end of the day, yes, you are quote regular, but behind closed doors, you're still Nene Leaks.
I am. Thank you.
So I am just truly humbled that you came here. But my brag and my flex is that I have this amazing show with my girl that gets to have Nene Leaks on it.
Yes.
So that means I must be doing something right.
Yes.
So that's my humble brag.
Oh,
so thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for inviting your girl here.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It was no doubt in my mind. I hopped right off the plane and, you know, here I am.
Best.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
So my humble brag is I am just so humbled that we have somehow through everything come back together in a very different but very loving and respectful grown space.
That's good.
I'm so humbled that I still get to call you, have a drink with you from time to time, see your growth. I feel like you are have grown a lot. For me, a turning moment for me when we were spending time together in Abu Dhabi, and we just had a chance to sit and talk, and that conversation is always just ours. But I've just seen the evolution. So I'm just so humbled for your growth, and I'm so humbled for our growth as sisters and friends for life, regardless of whether we see each other every day or whatever. And my brag is we got Nene motherfucking Leaks on humble brag. She showed up. Bags didn't come. My girl came straight from the airport.
Just here I am.
That is a brag. You are a busy woman.
I'm just really regular like that. No, honestly. So I have a couple of humble things that's happening in my life.
Yes, God.
I'm really humbled by life.
Yes.
Completely. Just watching my husband fade away that way, it really humbled me. And my son being really sick is really a humbling time. And just thinking about health and how life can be so fleeting. And I'm really humbled by that.
Yeah.
What would be my brag?
Oh, well, honey. I
got a lot of things I could brag about. But, you know, let me see. I guess my brag would be playing off of you guys. I am fucking Nene Leaks.
You better give yourself your own flowers. You are fucking Nene Leaks.
I am. I've done a lot of things.
As you would say, and you ain't gonna never change it.
I ain't gonna never change it. I've done a lot of things I just don't really talk about. Actually, I forget some of the stuff I do.
Isn't that the truth?
One day I went to IMBD and I was like, I forgot I did this. I was like, look at my resume. Like I would have never. I started out with nothing on my resume to having a freaking resume a mile long. Like,
I'm still going.
Doing all of these things. And so I'm grateful and I'm thankful. You guys helped me today to even get back in a mental space of thinking like, yeah, girl, don't forget who you are. Don't forget all the stuff that you've done. Yeah. So
it doesn't matter where you are in space and time. You are still fucking Nene Leakes.
Yeah.
And everyone out there, even if they, let me tell you, for every person that comes up to you, 100 are inside saying, oh my God, that's Nene Leakes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they walk up to me and say, oh my God, it's Nene Leakes.
Yeah, you're going to walk out the studio and somebody's going to say,
my man and I walked off the plane and some guy was like, hey Nene, you look fabulous. I mean, they just say it anywhere. They don't really care where we are. They are always going to holler and speak. And yeah, so all those things are very humbling and it's a blessing too.
It is.
Right? So I'm humbled by life.
Amen.
Life is very humble. Life. Yeah.
Thank you, Nene Leakes, for
thank you
hanging out with Crystal on Humble Brag. We love you guys. We usually try to say something. And what language were we speaking?
Korean.
Korean. How do we say
How do I do
goodbye?
That?
Well, how do we say goodbye in Korean?
안녕하세요.
We do something.
안녕하세요.
We're gonna let Nene close us out in Korean.
Ready?
안녕하세요.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Ready?
Get our mind together. 안녕하세요.
Okay, ready?
안녕히 가세요.
Yeah, okay, we need to say it with a little more enthusiasm. Though.
This guy's not that enthusiastic.
Almost. 안녕히 가세요.
All right.
안녕히 가세요.
That's good.
There you go. Bye, y'all. We love you guys. Bye. Make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you tune in.
Nene
and follow and subscribe and like the Nene Leakes show. She is doing her thing.
Yes.
And of course, we appreciate you guys here at Humble Brag.
Thank you so much. I'm humble.
Yeah.
We do. We like and we subscribe. Okay. So that's what I want y'all to do over here is like and subscribe. So Miss Dogan, you with me? You with me? Okay, there you go. There you go. I have not watched Reasonably Shady. They haven't had anything really pop up that I feel like I want to tune in on. I'm not a huge Robin fan. It's funny how these podcasts, and I wonder if they did that on purpose. Not Robin and Giselle. Of course, Robin and Giselle are friends, and we know why they're doing theirs together in a sense. But it seemed like the housewives have podcasts where one is a favorite and maybe one is not. And so maybe, I don't know. But no, I have not paid attention to any of Giselle and Robin's content. And honestly, it is a lot of the reason is because I guess I put people in boxes, and so they housewives, and so I just kind of want to see Giselle on Potomac. I don't necessarily follow her outside of the Potomac seasons, unless something pops up. But we will watch. Nene is going to do her episode tomorrow. She's releasing the episode with Dr. Is her name? I know it's Dr. Bryant, Chanel Bryant. Remember, she came on. She went on Basketball Wives last year. That didn't work out for her. But I didn't like her on Basketball Wives. I like the content she has as a doctor. I like her content. I like her delivery. And so we will go ahead and watch her and Nene when Nene releases that episode tomorrow, which is usually about 12 o'clock or something like that. I'll try to do a live. Maybe we'll watch it together, or I might end up watching it alone. And then maybe we'll come and talk about it. What you think? What you want to do? What you want to do, cousin? But I still won't be. I know that's right. I did. I like the Humble Brag too. And I went ahead and subscribed because that's what we're going to do. We're going to support the channel. It depends. If I come across some more little topics that seem interesting, I might dabble over there. Now, when it comes to Nene's show, I'm interested in seeing her interview with Chanel Bryant, Dr. Chanel Bryant, I think her name is Cheyenne Bryant. Maybe it's Cheyenne, not Chanel. Cheyenne. But I really think Nene, I want to see Nene kind of do what everybody else is doing, which is maybe get some of the older housewives, the housewives that haven't been on, that we forgot about. I kind of like her in that space because I think it's a comfortable space. I think it's a trusting space. Like I don't view Nene as a great interviewer. So I don't think that her interviews are going to be very interesting outside of the person that she has on. Like that person has to be interesting on their own. But interviews they are usually boring if you don't have somebody who at least knows the right questions to ask so that the conversation is getting the information that the people want. And maybe Nene has to find her footing with that, but I don't think that's her gift. That's where I think I really will give Carlos King his props in a sense of I think he does great interviews. While he doesn't do a lot of prying in his questioning, his relationship to the people and the guests that he has and his relationship to the industry allows his guests to be free in the way that they speak to him. And so that makes for great interviews. That makes for great interviews. Or at least podcasts, because podcasts are not generally interviews. They are supposed to be conversations. So I think that Carlos does well with that space. But I really did enjoy this interview between Cynthia and Nene. I think Cynthia did a good job of just kind of getting some questions out of Nene and having a different dialogue with Nene that was different than the dialogue Nene had when Cynthia was on her show. I think we are good to see Nene and Cynthia in a good place. Like we don't have to speculate if they are faking. Um, and it's good to see Nene in a peaceful place. Yeah, it's good to see Nene in a peaceful place. I do want to see Nene kind of take control more over this, what she want to get paid about her likeness, and I do want her to take that up with the network because I think that that's who you should be handling those grievances with, and not the public. Like the content is here, we're able to use it, and I mean, and it keeps you relevant. Imagine if we weren't able to go see that content. Nobody would know who she was at this point. So, you take the good with the bad. And take the things you never had, the facts of life. The facts of life, That's it. Okay, Miss Duggan. We've been on here. We've been on this thing for a minute. We've been on this thing for a minute. Because that's the one thing you can guarantee is if we are going to watch a interview together, whatever we watch together, if I do some screen sharing, we are going to stop and discuss it in the middle, because this is part of sharing content. You do want to share it. You do want it to be made your own, and you do want to like this is commentary. That's the purpose of the content, is so that the public can talk about it. And like I said with Nene, like could you imagine if we didn't have streaming services, if these things did not exist, then those episodes would just be done and lost and only in your memory. And I guess she's saying she would prefer that, but I'm saying you wouldn't be Nene Leakes today without that content being able to be used over and over and over again. That content is introducing new people to you who have no idea who you are. That should be, I mean, maybe you didn't ask for it, maybe it feel unfair, but I think that's the give and take. That's the price you pay. Just like in celebrity, sometimes you might have to forego some privacy or private moments, because of your celebrity. And that's the trade off. And again, maybe it's easy for me to say because I'm not in that position. But I feel like we see certain celebrities who they seem to be able to live their lives in a way that they seem that's conducive to whatever privacy they want. Um, I don't know. So maybe they're not getting booked as much as they wish they would. So again, you take the good with the bad. You know, I wonder what Nene got going on in LA. Her and her man. So at least her and her man doing good. We know that. We're gonna pray for Brent. We're gonna hope he gets better very soon. Cause I'm sure, and even with that, it's Nene. Nene been through a lot. Nene been through a lot with the loss of Greg and now dealing, with Brent and this. So I'm gonna hope that he gets well soon, so that she can start to just have a little more peace. Just have a little more peace. Everybody needs some peace. Oh, I do. Yeah, everybody can use some peace here and there, right? She jumped into that too quick. Well, I think you're right. The man is handsome. He probably, wooed her. But I think that's why we see her like she seems to know that maybe he's not faithful. But Nene reminds me of myself. I was just talking in a way about, a previous relationship. Um, and listen, everybody can't have everything. So I think for Nene, it's just like, all right, well, I'm here now. You done got used to this person and you just deal with that person or what the devil right? Ain't that's the saying, right? The devil is better than the devil you don't, something like that. So I think that's where she is with that. And listen, that's why I'm like, I hope her son gets better soon because I feel like once that type of thing is off of her, because she needs some comfort. She needs, she's in a vulnerable place. And so this guy is able to just kind of keep his hooks in her. Um, so hopefully once Brent, starts to turn around for the good and stays stable, she might begin to come out that fog and feel, a little more better and confident to just leave that man be because she is effing Nene freaking Leaks, right? Yeah, and I mean, and it sucks that it would be somebody who we feel like, well, maybe he not, maybe he not the best, or maybe he not treating you right. But people, we as women have settled for things that are less than us, for comfort, and it's probably the gift and the curse that we have as women, as nurturers, because sometimes that keep you in places longer than you should. She sure doesn't want to be alone. Yeah. And with her having Greg for so long, could you blame her? You know, we're not talking about somebody who um I was going to kind of say like a Kenya, but not even maybe like a Portia. But I don't even know if those are the two. But I'm saying we haven't seen her just kind of hop from man to man to man. What they call it, like a serial monogamous. Um, I think that's who Nene is in her core, is that she is a relationship person, a marriage person. And of course, she was married for so long. It's not like she spent 15 years dating. So she's not used to that. And these men and the dating game today, from the last time when she was dating, even for that little bit that she was dating was while her and Greg were divorced, dating today, honey, you got to have the patience of Job. Trust me. These men ain't been raised right. Mine have, but I don't know about the rest of them. So yeah, I get it. At least he not plastered all over the place. Like at least TMZ or Shade Room, at least every other week they not, coming out with, some other, seeing him here, seeing him there. At least if he is doing some crazy wayward stuff, at least he doing it under wraps in a place where, the bloggers ain't getting to it and ain't nobody blasting him about it. And he's not like visibly, publicly embarrassing Nene, because that would be embarrassing. Everything that she's saying about him, for me, it came out of her mouth. And so whatever we judge about him, we judge in what she gave us to judge, which ain't been great, but that's what it is. Well, all right now. I did eat my steak and my crab legs. And so now I'm out here on the patio to enjoy this nice little breeze that's gonna come through. And then I'm gonna get some videos up about 90 Day Fiance. Let me go and knock them out the way. So if you have not already, make sure you like this video. And if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video or when I go live. Okay, we will go live tomorrow. That's the plan, to watch the interview between Nene Leakes and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, Cheyenne, Dr. Bryant, the one that was on Basketball Wives, the one that told Cam Newton that he is creating a bunch of broken homes. Yeah, that girl. We're going to listen to what she got to say. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Check y'all later. Internet cousins, the cousin crew. I'm out. Okay. Bye.